Hey, how are people? How you doing? You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us uh this afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are watching from. For those of you in Liberia, we say you're welcome and you're welcome to the show. I know it's just turned 8 p.m. out there in Liberia to the radio stations that are always on time. We want to congratulate you for doing your duty to the country and bringing the show live to our people on time. Big shout out to the radio stations, man. If you're here watching, please just put a comment in the thread from a radio station anywhere across the country so we can recognize your hard work and making sure you come and turn the radio station on time in Liberia. The radio station, all 17 of them, should be turned on time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Liberia. We want to congratulate you for doing that, and we want to really appreciate you. Being on time is a responsibility, especially when it comes to things of this day that you cannot take lightly. So we want to really appreciate you guys for always highlighting the issue. I want to welcome you guys from across the country. It's approximately 4 p.m. here on the east coast of the United States. I'll be your host here as always, Mr. Ensu Dwalu, and I'm broadcasting live here from the great state of Massachusetts. And I want to welcome all you guys from across the country. Martina Bobadi, welcome to the show. John Oberly, my brother Dwana is also here. Welcome to the show. Mr. Oberly is actually watching from Stafford, Virginia, USA. Welcome, baby my Elia. Baby my welcome, Ebenezer. M. Binda, thank you, watching from Tinkers Village. Tinkers Village. Every time I hear Tinkers Village, I'm hoping, we had a intellectual facility out there, like a massive university, a village that elevates Liberia, that is just the Tinkers Village. We need to do more, man. We need to do more in Liberia. Marie Calago, Tape, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Samuel K. Ballet. Mr. Ballet, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing this afternoon? Alexander Simmons is watching out of Totota Bon County. To our people in Totota, man, you're welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys. I don't know what radio stations you got listening to us in Totota, but if you're watching live as well, we say welcome. Royce Draper is watching out of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, all the way around. Hey, Kate, up here in Massachusetts, called it PBD, but in Liberia, call it Peabody. It's watching out of Pensacola. Welcome to the show, man. G. Glimmer Taylor. Glomar Taylor, I'm sorry. Welcome to the show. Clarence Benson is out of Ontario, Canada. Hamilton. Welcome to the show, man. All you guys from across the country, while you're popping in here, man, and listening to our sister Miata formula as we drive through the streets of Monrovia. Just for a little brief. You're welcome, you're welcome.
Her lasting legacy will be that she unleashed George Weah on us. That's the legacy I give to Mrs. Salif. Sorry.
You don't think very much of George Weah?
Have you met George Weah?
Yet to. I'd love to interview him.
Oh, he can't talk much. You won't get much out of him. He's not very articulate either. I'm sorry. He's a fantastic football player.
Yes.
Okay? He's a fantastic player. At least that's what they say, because even when I was in England, I wasn't that much into football, and I understand he played at one time for Liverpool or something. Yeah, I didn't follow his football history. But the background that I come from, we didn't see football players as national political leaders. And I'm sure that's everywhere in Africa. I mean, I never heard Ghanaians saying Abedi Pele can be president.
Abedi for president.
Can you imagine? Will you have Abedi for president?
Oh, he's not a politician.
Well, this is our own case too. George Weah is an Abedi Pele. They should stick to their profession and everything. But Madame Salif thought it would be interesting. Under the guise of generational, yeah. So she unleashed George Weah.
Because he was VP before he became president, right?
That's my big sister Miata formula. They're speaking nothing but the truth. When you're cross-pollinating professions, you cannot take Dwally and make him a doctor. I will fail. I've not been trained to become a doctor. You cannot take me and make me a lawyer. I don't know much about lawyering besides what the layman is supposed to know. And I consider myself a well-read individual. I know a lot about law, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm not on the same level as a lawyer. Now, if you want to put me in the realm where people that understand finance and economics, I believe, I have no doubt, I can go toe to toe with the best of them because this is something that I've done for close to 25 years. That's my area. But if you put me somewhere else, I may not understand. Doesn't mean you cannot have an idea. And especially that we have this conversation in Liberia, people say, oh, there's no training for the president. That ain't true. This is one of the most dangerous statements that you can make. There is no training for the presidency. That is not true. There is a lot of training required to become a senator. There's a lot of training required to become a representative. There's a lot of training required to become a president of a republic. And for those of you who attribute it to degree, I'm not a big fan of degree. I always call myself a high school graduate. There's a reason for that because I firmly believe everything I need to know to be a responsible citizen and a citizen that can survive anywhere I learned in high school. But if you want to become a president of a republic, there are certain things that you must do. Besides the terminal degrees that you can go and get, this is good. It's just a entrance, a certificate to get into the game and truly learn what you need to understand. A president has to be a global analyst. He has to be a lawyer, not a terminal lawyer where you get a degree. He has to understand law. He has to understand global politics. He has to understand finance. He has to understand economics. He has to understand engineering. He has to understand environmental science. The point I'm trying to make, a president has to be extensively well-read individual. He has to have critical thinking capacity, and he has to understand the shifting dynamics of the global environment because he's been prepared to be able to survive in that environment. This person is amongst our best and brightest minds. So that not yet anybody can rise to the level of the presidency. Every time somebody says that, they don't understand what it takes to become a manager. They don't understand what it takes to become somebody who will lead. Leadership is not a child's play thing. A leader is actionable. He has a vision. He's calculative. He can look ahead. He can strategize. He can see a problem and he formulate a solution to that problem because he's had some foundation and preparedness to be able to do that. So I want people to continue to understand leadership. It's not a child's play thing. It requires a lot of preparation. I want to welcome Phoebe Warranty, Mamana Warranty. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Daniel G. Zwager, Mrs. Zwager is watching out of West Philadelphia, born and raised. You know what I mean. I'm going to stop right there. Steven, Tama, how are you doing, man? Mohammed Rogers, my brother Rogers is watching from GSA Road of Zena Hill Community. Mr. Rogers, welcome, sir. How are you doing? Augustus King, Mr. King D. Twine, how are you doing? Out of Minnesota. Minnesota. I'm very low, okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm not talking very loudly. Stuff should be there. Check your volume. I think I'm pretty loud. Or Gawi, welcome to the show. Tina Cooper, how are you doing, man? Look, I'm going to continue to welcome you guys here. We're going to start the show here as we go along. Let's listen as Seditians continue to talk about their government and what they feel this government is doing. You're welcome to the show. You're welcome.
I am a sedition. And for me being a sedition, it doesn't mean I'm crazy or I'm stupid. I got my 5 senses running. Mr. President, I appreciate you so much for taking the country to another level. We have 6 years, we didn't do nothing with my last year around here. We were dancing and doing our stuff there around, trading from country to country. Today, I can see over here bridges building, other things are bridges are connecting, roads are connecting. I appreciate you so much. A lot of stuff you're doing. Continue. I appreciate you. Nobody sacrificing CDC than I advancing. Don't go there with me. You go there with me, you bring CDC to public ridicule. I'm not joking you. Anybody you go there with me, you bring CDC to public ridicule. Because we're going to discuss CDC from the day it even started. Even one of me who stand here today, I am one of those that make CDC to be a raised up political party in the Republic of Liberia. Through my influence, is how CDC.
Yes, people are not stupid anymore. To my younger brother is here, Mark Kula. Welcome to the show, my begin. It's an honor to have you here. Willie, Demat, welcome to the show. Everybody, man, from everywhere, Lua Carter, how are you doing? You know, people think people would just sit and allow their country to go back to neophytes and men and women who don't understand what it takes to govern. My brother Momo M. Salamani is here, and David Akwawala out of Oslo, Norway. This country will no longer be given to men. I don't care how much people strain and shout. I call them the 5%ers. These are people who are benefiting directly from the looting of our society. And they believe that looting and pillaging of Liberia should continue because that the only way they're supposed to eat our heart and what we're finishing, we're not finishing our heart. So we're forced to drive, we are back. We are cannot become president. And there was a factor. The reason why President we are was given an opportunity, with the exception of all the Diddy Bala, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf introduced to make sure she bring President we are to power. Those things no longer exist. Number one, that factor that people were in awe, we got a middleman president. They had to get it out of the system. Liberians have seen what proper leadership looks like. No sane person in the Republic of Liberia that wants better for their children will ever bring this serial philanderer, this weed smoking alcoholic, this lucky grown-up boy back to the executive mansion, because we now know what proper leadership looks like. That does not exist any longer. So you can scream, you can kick, you can do whatever you want. Liberia forges ahead. We are no longer looking back. This country will develop. The President we are does not have the wherewithal. He doesn't have the preparation to even become a village dog catcher. More or less, talking about the President of the Republic of Liberia. Let me say this, though. I'm going to say this to Jua Howard Taylor. This woman has lived her entire life suckling at the bosom of Mama Liberia. Let me say that again. Jua Howard Taylor has lashed her lips to the nipples of this country forever. She cannot do anything outside the government. She cannot be in government because she feels fine. She's not trying to invoke some form of county or tribal bigotry. And the poor Bon County, this and that. All the project and what we did, that we are project, the government, we are listening to all small. I'm playing the whole time, I play small. Eh?
Where are the new projects the United Party has brought on board? We now are overwhelmed with the whole issue with drugs. No here, no tea, no middle. Nobody talking. Everybody just sitting quietly. When they said that we were doing drugs and bringing drugs in the country after our push, they said, "Oh, President, we are bringing push." There was a conversation that went across the whole country. What were those major things that were done in the we are Taylor-led government? What has been done now? We are year number 3, and we're still hearing only dedicating old projects that are already done that we might not have had the time to dedicate. The president said, "Let's go and run our campaign on when we dedicate the project." I think it was a wrong strategy. We should have gone and dedicated those projects so everybody will see. But everybody knows, like you said, do your fact check and find out what was provided.
You know, Jua Howard Taylor, the lady lies so much. This lady, for over 30 unbroken years, she served, I believe, a deputy central bank governor. She served as senator of our republic, I believe, for close to 18 years. She was the first lady of the Republic of Liberia. She became the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Jua Howard Taylor has absolutely nothing to show to the people of Bon County what she has done in that environment. And she said, "President, we have completed projects, but he did not dedicate it. President, we have put his picture on what it in the COVID bucket. We have put his picture on anything he did. If we are went somewhere and he gave somebody back already, he put a picture on it. When we are then stole the rice that were donated by the Japanese, he put the picture on the bag of rice. Do you believe that we are then with do project in Liberia? They did not dedicate a project. They were waiting for election. Can anybody point to, and I'm being very genuine about this, can anybody point to any project in the Republic of Liberia that President we are completed totally, that he did not dedicate rather? Can anybody point to that? One project. What project did you do that was not dedicated, Madam, former Vice President? You lie so much. If you listen to the entirety of her interview, she was talking about the people of Bon County, with you will follow Nima, with you will follow Lofa, or the people of Bon County got to vote for themselves. I will be a crucial part of this. Madam Taylor, you say you went to school, and now you say you're a lawyer. Can you go do something in the private sector for once and get up for Liberia? You are not coming back to government. The people of Bon County know better. You can go or you come down, you fall down, you go this and that. The boat where you say you land, go in the private sector and echo out a living using that book you land and get off our nipple. We are sick and tired of feeding you, Madam Vice President. What kind of project you did? She went to say, let later, we have project Saba Sa. The projects that President Bwaka has completed on 3 years far surpasses anything we are there in 6 years. Let me talk again. All that you want Bwaka do, President Bwaka do, if you lay Saba, where Jowiana do, but Papi plenty more than Jowiana. And the Papi not even go halfway yet. We're not just 3 years, we do 2 years, 7 months. So, man, I suggest you go sit down somewhere. You can go or you come down. You will go and do business in the private sector by fire, by force. It's about time you learn to live off your own sweat and stop always suckling at the bosom of Mama Liberia. We are sick of it. We're sick of it, and we are no longer going to listen to that. Look, we're going to have a discussion here today. I know people have been hearing about what's happening on the border. What I don't understand is, when people sit down and they just get up, whenever they try something, and Stanton is notorious for this, Spoon Network, whenever they start something and they realize that stuff has been countered with facts and evidence that anybody can see, they will jump to something else. Yesterday, Stanton began this narrative, actually that was begun by sedition out of Lofa County. All the Guineans say when Liberian people that move around the border, they will censor you there, they will do the Guinean for that, and this is not true. The river between Liberia and Guinea, I forget the name of the river, and some of you guys know the Makona River, I believe that's what it's called, between Liberia and Guinea. During the rainy season, the river overflows its banks. So the river stretches on the Liberian side, and it does stretch on the Guinean side. So obviously, the lands they were on before, it got flooded. Everybody's jockeying for land. Now, the Guinean wanted to come on the other side where the Liberian were at. Liberian people said, no, you're not coming on our side. It was just a little scuffle between people that want dry area to stay or dry area to build their tank, the Makona River. Thank you so much, Awan. That was it. And then the elders from both sides, they came, they sat down, and they settled the matter. That was the entirety of it. But all of a sudden, they're saying, oh, the Guinean people they're sending troops just to continue to scare our people. Let me read an excerpt that was published here from Solomba up in Lopa County. LIS, the Liberia Immigration Services, Guinean soldiers held peaceful dialogue at Solomon border after dispute yesterday. This is a scuffle. You can be laying in a room with your wife on a scene bay. Sometimes you can get border dispute. Let me talk again. Anybody who been any kind of relationship, you sleep in the same bed for God knows how long. Me and my wife been sleeping in the same bed for 24 years. We don't get plenty of plow. Don't come on my side. Don't stay on my side. So when two people on border, there will be small fight. My man go on your side, go on my side. That's all that was. And then every single thing we are magnifying things. You say, oh, like, bro, we'll go to war by force. Who tell us say we won't go back to war? And who tell you say the Guineans are going to mash us or just run us over because they got a bigger military? Nobody wins in a game of war. It doesn't matter how powerful you think you are. And let me tell you something about those of you believing, especially the CDs, oh, the Guinean they get war tank, the Guinean they get air bomber, we ain't get something with destroy. Let me tell you something. The jungle between Liberia and Guinea, that's where the war is going to be fought. If ever we went to war, the war will be fought majority with an AK-47. This is a jungle area. So your tank and your so-called Soviet era jet bomber, 1 or 2 times run like gas to go get packed. We are not going back to war. Let me read what was published from that border and everything that's Stanton always trying to do to make it appear as though the Guinean are going to take over Liberia. The Guinean are incapable of taking over Liberia. They are incapable because it will be fought with the AK-47. The Guinean themselves don't want this. We need to stop this nonsense about war. Let me read this. Local authorities in Foya district this morning engaged security officers stationed at the Solomba border following reports that Guinean soldiers have asked officers of the Liberian Immigration Services to vacate their position. The latest development confirmed that a Guinean soldier did in fact demand on Sunday that LIS officers leave their current position at the border. However, the Liberian immigration officer reportedly stood their ground, after which the Guinean soldier returned to their position. Following the incident, local authorities from Foya traveled to the border this morning to engage both sides and clarify the situation. According to Solomon Township Commissioner Henry Harris Duma, LIS officers and the Guinean soldiers held a peaceful dialogue during the engagement and agreed to maintain peace and peaceful coexistence at the border. During the engagement, it was observed that Guinean military has changed its commander at the Solomba border and replaced the previous team of soldiers with a new core team, right? So a new team came in, they don't understand the protocol, hence the little scuffle that was at the border. During the meeting, the new Guinean commander was briefed on the long-standing peaceful coexistence between Liberia and Guinean security personnel stationed at the border. Following the dialogue, the Guinean soldier returned to their position, with LS officer also remain at their assigned station. So an inch was not given to the Guinean. The situation at the Solomon border is currently reported to be calm, with both sides agreeing to maintain peace and avoid actions that could create tension between the two countries. That's it. That's all it was. Nothing else happened over there. That people will be jumping all around. Oh, the Guineans are then coming to Mula Bureau. Guinea coming to take over Lopa. Lopa County is sovereign Liberian territory. Let me say this again. Lopa County is sovereign Liberian territory. The Guineans will now encroach on this territory. That scuffle at the border is something you sit around the table, you look at the map, you re-coordinate, and then you define what the border is. The border has always been there. Our people in that location know the border. That scuffle in Lopa, it is really not a land dispute issue. Most people don't know exactly what's going on. That thing stemmed from the mining that was done in that river, and the Guineans are mad that maybe they say, oh, you're king, you're mining the river. The river separates between Liberia and Guinea. Both countries utilize the river. That's all this is. It's a little confusion. But every day, Liberia will go to war before you get certified. When you get ready, yesterday when you started with the drug thing with Amara Conan, Edwin Snow, they're all creating all kind of stuff that they draw the Jew Howard Taylor, they draw. When they realize we counter that, they come on now, to the border, they're fighting to the border. Every single day is another thing. Front Page Africa went yesterday and blatantly lied and said, and the road to Grand G there is not pliable. The road, all kind of lie. In fact, you look at the road to Grand G there, that Front Page Africa created an entire front page news article stating that Grand Gita Road has been completely cut off when there was a truck that made an accident and blocked the entire road, forcing all the trucks to stop. Even in America, so that truck made an accident and there's a spill, whatever, there will be traffic for miles. That's all it was on Grand Gita County Road. The roads are still pliable. People are still traveling on the road. In fact, look at the people they're trying to show. Mind you, look on the right. One person is driving, and the same people stuck on the road. I want you to zoom in on this picture as you're watching it. Look at the trucks that are parked and let me know whether any trucks is stuck on that road between Grand Gita and Tapeta. You'll watch for yourself.
Where? We slept with the God will play at your jail go none of the top and I tell you the morning if you will not. What passing? It's let me get still give you money. I tell you what thinking about taking all the way.
Can any Liberian tell me the bad roads that we have seen in the past? I think look like anyone on that bad road. Must they find bad news for this country at all cost? And some people believe, and I love what I think somebody said it yesterday when we had an impromptu show yesterday. Some people only thrive in chaos. When Liberia is chaotic, that the only time they can get their position and maintain their positions. So for them, Liberia must always be chaotic. There must be total chaos in Liberia. That the only way that how it gets certified, but we say woe unto them. In fact, your drive with me small in the streets of Sunny Kwele, Nima County, as Liberia continue to grow. This country will develop. Big shout out to the superintendent or team out there. Big most shout out to President Bwakai for what we're doing across the country. Remember now, the president is embarking on every single county capital to have paved road. There will be cement road in the dry season. It will begin. Every single county capital in our country will get middle massive paved road. You'll drive with me small through the city of Sonic in Nima County. And this land forever be ours. Green be her fame. We will give this to our children in its entirety. This is our sovereign territory. It will forever be ours, and we will fight to make sure we see it developed. And everybody who wants to say this or that, anything the president does. Oh, you know, the president said no car will get stuck in one road or way in the bush where we're not supposed to be going to go dig gold. One car was stuck there. Oh, so that for your benefit, the president will go make road for your own. The president said the major roads leading to the county capitals, and he's done that. Now, obviously, we need to open up more roads across the country, hence the yellow machines. This is why the yellow machines were brought in. So the counties will have tremendous discretion based on what the Yellow Machine Maintenance Board recommends. I mean, the recommendation will come from the counties, and then they will send these machines to open up the roads and make sure we start improving. So when anybody thinks that President Bouaka must develop the country in one day, even though he's done tremendously well over the last 2.5 years he's been in power, you're mistaken. You are mistaken. We wish we could develop the country in one day. But look at the contrast, and it's the nonsense that Joe Howard Taylor is talking about, oh, and when we were there, they put our project in side by side. Man, Taylor, you don't you don't put your project in side by side, because if you put it side by side, you'll lose. Big time, you're going to lose. There will be nothing there. So before we start the show, man, the president has just commissioned today. It's on the Finance Ministry website. The government convenes National Steering Committee meeting to consolidate AARD gains on Tuesday. There's the arrest agenda for inclusive development, AARD, on Tuesday. So the consolidation, so the president is doing, he's actually tracking every single thing that the arrest agenda has achieved, where we are lacking, how we have to double up in certain areas, and how we have to make sure the deliverables are met within the span of 6 years. The president is very calculated. That is leadership. Some people don't understand it. A little excerpt here from the Ministry of Finance website. The government of Liberia will convene a high-level national steering committee on the arrest agenda for inclusive development on Tuesday, August 11, at the Monrovia City Hall. The meeting will be held under the theme consolidating AARD gains, accelerated implementation into measurable and people-centered outcomes. The NCS meeting follows the successful completion of the first year, 2025, of the AARD implementation, marking an important milestone in Liberia's national development journey. So the president is tracking everything across the country. This is a big deal. You cannot attain what you want to attain if it's not trackable, measurable, and then implementable, if you want to call it that. And then you regroup and come back and say where we are lacking. This is exactly what the president is doing. It continues. The Year 1 Progress Report provides a comprehensive assessment of achievements, implementation challenges, and lessons learned across priority sectors. Concurrently, the government is finalizing progress updates for the first and second quarters of 2026, reinforcing its commitment to transparency, accountability, and results-based development. Chaired by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, with support from the United Nations Resident Coordinator as Deputy Chairperson, the National Steering Committee serves as the central oversight and strategic coordination body for the AARD. The committee brings together cabinet ministers, agencies, and commissions development partners, civil service organizations, private sector actors, and representatives of the Liberian diaspora, ensuring an inclusive and coordinated approach to national development. In light of evolving global and domestic dynamic, including rising fuel prices, macroeconomic uncertainties, and shifting development financing, the upcoming meeting provides a timely platform to review progress, address implementation gaps, and recalibrate national priorities for 2026 and beyond. The arrest agenda is being calibrated to serve the Liberian people inch by inch. Peace out to President Bwaka. And let's start the show, y'all. Always, man. Y'all welcome to the show.
Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing J&B and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today. Hey.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today.
Hey.
Hey, Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
Truth.
Liberia rising,
Progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The Class Reloaded.
True.
Liberia rising.
Progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop, the rescue mission, we move soon.
You're welcome from across the country. I did not recognize the radio stations, man. To all the radio stations out there, we want to say welcome to the show. Classic FM out of Kakata, Margibi County. All you guys, man, Radio Margibi, voice of Lufa, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Radio Kwatike, Peace FM out of Banga. Kwatike out of Banga. Abliji Radio, obviously in Grand Bassa County. Premium FM out of Banga Bon County. Radio Gompa out of Nima County. Radio Yalimba out of Sekli, Nima County as well. Top FM out of Zwedru. Radio Sando in Greenville, Sando County. Smile FM out of Zwedru as well. I'm going to say big shout out to Radio Buto all the way in Sando County. Trust FM out of Bumming County. Welcome to the show. Punch FM in Monrovia. Bujo Radio and DC 101. I want to welcome all you guys from across the country. Look, I want to say this. I think there's a word out there. I think it's called okophobia or okophobia. Somebody can look it up. I think it's spelled OIKAO phobia. Okophobia. I think it's pronounced. Let me see if I look it up real quick. It's called okophobia. It's ORKO phobia. ORKO phobia. It's a hate for one's own country. If you don't like your culture, you don't like your norms, you don't like anything about your country, you tend to hate your own country. And our phobia, it's people that are self-hating. They hate themselves. There is a tendency, in fact, some Liberians do it here in America. There are a few Liberians who say, "Oh, me, I can live among Liberian people, and me and Liberian people, I live on the other side of town where all the white people don't live in. I can live. I don't let Liberian people they yet let they yet now." Let me tell you something. You can go ahead and eat caviar. You can eat raw fish. I can guarantee you are not Liberian because you were born in Liberia or because you have an affiliation with Liberia or you're part from Liberia. You are Liberian because Liberia is born in you. Get it up again, you look for it. And I mean, do I look for it? You look for it. You look like you can say you're not Liberian. So to those of you who are sitting around, oikophobia, thank you so much, MK. Oikophobia, I think it's called oikophobia, something like that. I will try to see the pronunciation of that. And this is what happened. If you're always wishing harm on this country, let me tell you something. Governments come, governments go. Just because you are not in power and you want everything to quote unquote scattered in the country, and that's the only way you think you can come back to power. Liberian people are no longer, under any circumstance, going to give this country to men and women who are not prepared to govern this country. So the 5%ers that are on social media making all this noise and think this country will be giving back to lucky Grenada boys to shame us after all the work has been done, we say they thunder fire you. You will no longer come to the helm of power in this country because the people eyeballs are open. Someone say, "Oh, you're not God. You never know what God can do." No, that's not how God can work. God has shown us what a horrible condition it is to be led. Look, I think there's something in the Bible. The people suffer because they don't want to listen what the proper leadership is supposed to do. God say, "Hey, I will give you this neophyte. I'm going to give you this, the chimon bucket carrier. I'm going to give you this one that I even know it here from a fool. The one way he in a fool, I will give it to you so you can know what Yama looks like." And what was he doing? You were passing around, dancing buka, and you want this country to go back to him. We will go back to another person when President Bwaka is done. We will go to another person that has actually burned the midnight candle. Another person that can elevate this country. Another person that understands the awesome responsibility it is at the presidency level. Somebody who will set aside his own life and commit his 6 years that we are giving him or her to govern this country. And he's going to spend his entire time in service to the people as it's being done under President Bwaka. And we will continue to double this every single presidency until Liberia develops. We are not going back anymore. For those of you who are oikophobia, I say stay in your wallow and say, "You know what, Ron? I don't go around Liberian people. Me, I can breathe when I am around Liberian people. I can't feel good when I am among Liberian people because this is your true self. I'm not saying you should condone something ridiculous that a Liberian does. That's not what I'm saying. But if you believe you're going to shy away from us or you're going to shy away from your culture, no, my knee, and it's I want you one Liberian, but any knee you will come up by. This is just an example. Let's say my knee and Sue. Okay, let me use myself. My knee and Sue, they say, "Oh, then I can't say." They call me a Sui because I want to Americanize it. I want to Germanize it. I want to do something else that doesn't sound Liberian. Go see on that side. At the end of the day, their country will develop. You can cry blood. Look, you're lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky you don't have a caliber of person that the more you cry, the more I will squeeze. I want to say this, man. My brother Daniel, welcome to the show, Patrick. You're here, everybody, man. Blair, what's popping with you? What's in your head? How everything? Patrick, you ready to come on here? You so when you ready to come, make sure you're not on camera. Then I will know you're not ready to come on.
No, I ready. I roughly ready.
So plenty of things happening in the country. They say the Guinea already in Banga. Y'all welcome to the show.
Where Banga? Let me talk about that briefly. So
yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
With two journalists in Lofa County, the actual information was that, the water comes to where those guys cross and start.
Thank you.
The river sometimes overflow the banks.
That's right.
So because of that, they had to change a commander. They periodically change commanders there. So they changed a commander last Thursday. The new commander came and decided to advance to tell the Liberian immigration people, German won't come to our tent here and all those kinds of things. The guys resisted. They came back, the guys resisted. And so that's how they went back. Today, I understand that there was a peace meeting. They requested a meeting, and this is according to a very reliable, high-profile source. They requested a meeting. Now people went there, they had a meeting, and then they agreed to work together peacefully. So these things happen occasionally, but they don't translate into what the propagandists wanted to appear like, and shame on the propagandists.
Thank you, Patrick, guys. I'm going to be urging you all today and going forward until we sort this thing out. If you are not speaking, I will try to mute you, but if you're not speaking, you must mute. It's very important because really there is an echo. I actually watched the show from yesterday, and there is actual real echo there. We got to get a tech person to take a look at it. I don't know where the echo came from all of a sudden, so we have to mute when we are not speaking. Minister Sano, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm doing extremely good, and it's always a good thing to be back on the show with brothers and sisters. I know Fatima and Kou are not here yet, but it's good to be on the show with well-learned individuals who are committed to the progress of our country, who, in spite of everything that the naysayers are saying about our country, we still remain steadfast in talking about the good side of our country. Because, when you were talking about Oklaphobia, I was wondering what manner of hatred would lead somebody to just take their cell phone and go across the country and looking for bad spots. And, yesterday I saw one of the papers, and I mean, I'm just sorry for that paper because everything that paper has worked for is going down the drain. I saw a post by that paper talking about, oh, yes, the corridor between Tabata to Zwetu is so deplorable. But then the cameraman in the car was running. So I was asking myself, what kind of car the cameraman in the car running? And all the car parked on the side of the road. Today again, I saw somebody posting, they say, the Medina to Ravaspo Road, the road cut off. They got one taxi in the middle of the water and everything. But these things are happening when another group of Liberians who do not work with the government, but out of passion for their country, they're using social media to showcase the positive side, And I just thought that was the best way to start a show today. Regardless of the politics of the day, we have to be positive. Because, lucky or not, Liberia is the only country that we cannot be deported from. I interact with Liberians every day. Somebody has lived in the diaspora for years. They come home, they feel so excited for the level of development, the level of stability that we have here. So it's our country, Like I always say, we can't throw the baby away with the bath water. We know some of our compatriots are going astray because of politics, but we are here to always correct them. And I'm happy to be back on the show this evening.
Thank you so much, Councilor Mon. Welcome to the show. Bled, let's come up to you. What's popping with you? How's everything on your end?
Yeah, I'm glad to see Mr. Sando, Patrick, Councilor Man, my brother in Unzi, and you, the host, and also our audience. I call them the diamond audience, okay, of all the social media platforms. It's a good thing to be here today. It is good that the thing here is that Dualu, for every time these people know that they are failing on one side of the propaganda, they will rush to another side. That's a distraction tactics now they are using. All right. The one coming today and said, "Oh, Abba, we're giving you a hard time." So I said, "What kind of hard time you're giving? You're mugging yourself. You say you're giving hard time. You see, I say, don't go and put on. Is that car being is that deplorable? One car stuck up somewhere. Who knows if that's a recent video or not? Okay, you want to tell me so that road is very deplorable, and cars have been passing over then a hitching. Now one citizen have passed over for them to be putting those videos up. That's from the common sense area, Dualu. And then Lastly, you know, they are all man Joel. Joel really got to believe that George will carry her. She got money to spend. Does Joel got they play George? The CDC for itself is broke. Okay, they misuse that money. George Weah is not going to spend his own money on election. Nathaniel McGill, that little thing they have, they're going to spend it. Who is going to spend the money? If you carry men for nothing, I think for nothing, going to put your money there when they already outstanding as speaker, and you get the money to spend. So you brave to tell the better people and some Bassa people and some we man people because Bonka they got Mano, they got Pele, they got Loma, they got Bassa. All the people there. You telling us that George Weah developed Bon County. Now let's talk about that. What have you done? You were first lady. What can you point out? That was the most influential movement of your life. What did you do in Bon County? You want to take this thing as Bon and Nima case. This is not a Bon and Nima case. This is not a Bon and Nima case. If you want to compare the level of development that is even being carried out by this government, the Southeast that did not even vote, just like Yuma Bwaka, is carrying a huge strong of development because the president knows that that is constitutional responsibility. It is not based upon tribe or region. So she wants to tribalize the vice presidency, but it ain't going to work.
Thank you, Blair. Thank you so much for muting. Thank you. I appreciate it. And before I go down to the guys, the Council of Mon and my brother MC to come to say, let's listen to Joel Howard Taylor a little bit because I really want we discuss this in the beginning. In fact, we're just going to go straight into the meat of it. The guys will do the intro while they're responding to Joel Howard Taylor. The video is long, but I'm not going to play the first 48 seconds of this because that dude, you got to listen to what I say.
Where are the new projects the United Party has brought on board? We now are overwhelmed with the whole issue with drugs. No here, no tea, no middle. Nobody talking. Everybody just sitting quietly. When they said that we were doing drugs and bringing drugs in the country after our push, they said, "Oh, President, we are bringing push." There was a conversation that went across the whole country. What were those major things that were done in the we are Taylor-led government? What has been done now? We are year number 3. And we're still hearing only dedicating old projects that are already done that we might not have had the time to dedicate. The president said, let's go and run our campaign on when we dedicated projects. I think it was a wrong strategy. We should have gone and dedicated those projects so everybody will see. But everybody knows, like you said, do your fact check and find out what was provided.
Look, I want to say this, Messi. I want to come to you first. More welcome, Minister Pia. Welcome to the show, sir. I want to say this though. When you're talking, Abraham, please show me the project and what they put in there. What dedicated? They will get traffic. I don't even know where traffic coming from. Abraham, let's come to Ichi. Let's mute guys when you're not speaking.
Yeah, Doro, let me say good afternoon to all of the panelists. And let me say good afternoon to all of our viewers and followers at this point in time. But Doro, it really looking to me like a joke. Because let's look at Madam Joel Howard Taylor trial record for her own county bond. This lady served as first lady. This lady served as senator for that county, not for one term. But you could not be able to do some of the meaningful projects in your county. Not only that, she is a former vice president at this point. What are the projects you're talking about that Bon County did not benefit? Bon County is not benefiting from the current regime. Are you telling me the sport complex, the sport academy that they are currently constructing? Are you telling me that is not development? Are you telling me that all of the projects that this government is undertaking in Bon County by connecting your road to Lofa? What you guys left undone? Are you telling me that is not progress made under this administration? I was glad that she said going to 3 years, but we are not 3 years yet. So she is in error for that. So let me be able to say, Madam Joel Taylor, you need to go relax and think about other things for you to be able to do. Because at this point, the rescue mission is on the right train at the right time. and we are going to rescue that country. Let me divert a little bit. Donald, I am very much sad to hear Stanton talking about reputable people in society, talking about people that have built their records, talking about Mama Kabelite, talking about Sarah Besra Yanti. It is a sad day for our country. If the country Liberia, if God was looking at people who are saved that will be able to go into heaven, I strongly believe that JMB, Sarah Besra Yanti, and that of Mama Kabelite will be on their way to heaven currently. So let's stop doing our Bucharest stories. Let him stop it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please mute. Mr. Minister, welcome to the show. Councilor Mon, you listen to the tape and tie that in with your intro. We spent some time with her, but we spent a lot of time on the drug issue here. Briefly on the border as well, but welcome to the show, Councilor Mon. What's going on with you, brother?
Thank you, Dwalu, and let me say good evening to all the professors in the classroom today. The classroom is very loaded, and I was enjoying the professors last week. Let me also say a very good evening to all of our people listening across the world, especially those in Liberia, those Liberians in the diaspora who believe that they have no other place to call home but Liberia, regardless of their status or whatever status they have wherever they are, but they feel that Liberia is at heart, and they always follow the Class Reloaded. Look, Dwalu, I don't think I'm going to spend time on responding to Madam Joel Howard Taylor, because basically, I think, I'm not a historian, and that is one thing I admire call for, and the depth of history, but I get to appreciate history. But, somewhat along the line in our Liberian history, it became a culture that we have adopted that, especially when people believe that the people who we call the masses or the downtrodden, we believe that if we want to attract these people to us and gain their attention and let them follow us, we must develop or create issues of negativity, things of conflict. And then they say, yeah, you are standing in favor of the masses. Once you show that you oppose a government, and then people believe that, yes, you are in the interest of the masses. And the unfortunate thing is that you ask yourself, what has it taken us? Liberia political historians may be the one to argue that. Sometimes we have some Liberians who call themselves quote unquote progressives. And you ask yourself, all the progressive thing they did, where did it take us? With all the demonstrations, all the uprising, all the negative propaganda they put against presidents, what did it take us? I think the only thing the progressive people can boast of is Rest Riot, 1979 Rest Riot, which led to 1980 coup of killing a president who some arguably also say was the visionary president of Liberia. And I've heard some of them even say that, look, by the time he was leading Liberia into a new vision, but it was late. But all they had to do was to raise up public sentiments against him. For that reason, in our country's history, we've seen that our country has declined. It declined at a certain point that it became a pariah. Nobody wants to touch you. Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to even blink with. Liberia was a no-go area, no touching. 2005 upwards, President Sirleaf did all she could to try to build that image, because as a country in a committee of nations, if you don't have people to respect you, if you are not respected amongst your peers in the committee of nations, then how do you progress? How do you develop? And when she did all she could, including getting the people to decide to waive $4 billion debt we had and all that, we saw that in the last, between 2017, 2024, again, the country started taking a nosedive in the international front. President Boakai has come. We listened to I was so impressed and amazed by what the foreign minister elaborated in just that short time about the image that Liberia has built the world over, the respect that Liberia has garnered. But again, this same tendency that you must always give the country a bad name, no matter what good things are happening. You must always damage the image so that people in Liberia can believe that nothing good can come from their country, and people believe that's the only way they can get people to. And unfortunately, it works for some people, because many Liberians over the years feed on negativity. Liberians believe that, oh, when everything must be negative, you must tune into the radio station to when they insulting and they are spewing out things, whether true or not. Then people say, yeah, that is hard hitting stations. I always say that unfortunately, our former President Sirleaf, started to reward people for that. People who are becoming very abusive to government, disrespectful. People started rewarding them with jobs. So it became something that people believe that, oh, when you hit the government hard, they will call you in, they will pacify you with something and some jobs. And so today that's what you're seeing. Despite all the progress, despite the tremendous image that Liberia has built, people in this country don't. And you see, when you blow your horn, when you raise yourselves, like the Ghanaians will say, in the whole world, we are the best. Who told you they are the best? Who told you the country is paradise? But because they have said it so much, now we all refer to them, say, look at Accra, look at Ghana. Because why? They continue to trumpet. But who told you say they don't have their issues? Every day they have their own issues. But outside to the world, they show that they are the best. But for us Liberians, everything in our country is a disaster. And let me just end this intro by saying this. Look, there is no way anywhere in the world I've seen that there's no crime. There will be criminals, there will be thieves, there will be murderers, there will be rapists, there will be corrupt people. But you know what makes crime thrive? Is impunity. And one thing that has happened in Liberia that has made indiscipline, in fact, Liberia criminal activity has gone to the level of indiscipline. We are so indisciplined is because of the culture of impunity. Nobody is held accountable for what they do. And because that culture has built over the years, I remember, as I said the last time on this program, when President Sirleaf declared corruption public enemy number one, when she couldn't handle it, in the second term, she said it became a vampire. When President Weah came and said corruption was going to be his target, in the time, you remember, he came and said that, look, Liberia is too small, everybody is too related. So when somebody doesn't, it won't catch the other person, then another person call you. So it's difficult to fight these kinds of things. Now you see President Boakai decides that all that thing you're talking, impunity has to stop. He may not be, in fact, he will not definitely be able to end impunity in Liberia. But he decided that we must start from a point. So whether it is corruption, whether it is drug, whether it is mismanagement of office, whether it's unethical behavior in my government, I will not tolerate. So now that he started to put his foot down, he has become the target now for negativity. And this is what is brewing in Liberia. And that is why I think that a lot of us have a lot to do. And I always admire the Liberians who look at the positive things of the country. And all of you need to help us spread it, because when you always bring your country down, the other person, if you don't say I am, nobody will say you are. And so it is these things that you see that people are fighting against President Boakai about, because now that culture of impunity is being tackled. And because he's tackling that culture of impunity and hitting at people who some of us know are our friends. Some of us who have come here and say, oh, but you can't lead the other person. Why you can't focus on the other person and lead the other person? But because it is targeting anybody who falls in the line, people are not comfortable. So what they want to do now is demonize the administration and tell them that they are not fighting. But anybody can put it, and I'm open to that argument, to show up in the recent time since the cessation of our war, since 2005 election, show which government has really fought impunity as they are fighting today. And
Thank you. Yeah.
Go ahead, darling. Dolly, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure. Okay, thank you so much. And I have to mute you guys because please mute. We are getting echo. This has to be addressed if I talk. And okay, Honorable Minister, the voice in your call, you're listening to the former Vice President of the country, everything she did say. And I'm pretty sure you have some information for our people. We know what's happening on the border. There's nothing there, but it will mean a lot coming from you. The floor is yours, Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you. In advance of my press conference, I normally don't undermine the significance of that press conference by divulging information about the government prior to the press conference. So, if there are official comments to make about the border, about drugs, about whatever it is, people will have to anticipate as they wait for the press conference tomorrow. We don't like to undercut ourselves. So that's what I would say about your mention of the border, etc., etc. On my sister, the former vice president, she's entitled to a voice. We are building and strengthening our democracy. People got different perspectives about what is happening in the country, but what I could say as I seek to respect her views on these issues is to remind her that for 18 years, she represented the people of Bon County as their senator. I don't know whether I'm being correct to say 18 or even more. And then she had another 6 years to be vice president. If you put all of those together, that's a long, long time for one person to be in government. That's 24 years. But before then, you know that she was one of the deputy governor, I guess, at the then National Bank of Liberia, under her husband. The husband she aided bears deep, deep responsibility for where the country is today. And it is for that reason it becomes very unfair when these people who aided the destruction of the country and who eventually got awarded with power, whether as senator or vice president, etc., who still come back here and make vain criticisms. I think it's so unfair to the country and the people of the country. Sometimes if you can't help the people, don't hurt them. I heard her trying to make comparison about Kuch and what she believes is happening now. That's also quite unfortunate. Somebody will have to convince me that the drug crisis that started in our country under their regime, a single person was held accountable for anything that was happening here. If they do, then we surrender to everything she said. Of course, you got none to say. Someone was making reference to Al Jazeera, and I contacted the reporter that everything that is happening in your country, Kush that nobody hears about anymore, is the headline that goes to Al Jazeera on your first reportage. Of course, I know what that person told me. They had little or nothing to do with that story. So you live here as a former vice president. If what informs you is what somebody that sits way to what Al Jazeera says, and you think it's okay because it's not you in power, your country can be categorized and classified anyhow, and you think it's good, that's where we test whether these people who we even awarded with all these years in power got any iota of love for this country. The country can sink if it is not them. You want to tell us about the conduct of officials here? You were right here when multiple officials honor your regime based on their conduct and the direction of the country was sanctioned. Maybe if people have not lost the election for you and your boss to be kicked out, maybe you guys were the next target of sanctions. So when Prince Moe talks about you being rescued, maybe those are some of the rescued because you would have eventually been a target of sanctions if you didn't get defeated. And while we try to bring the country back to normal, while we try to restore the image of the country, while we try to reestablish the credibility and the significance of the country, the people who took it down the waters are the ones who want to be unnecessarily making critical statements. Only because somebody just tip you under your skin in an interview and say you are rescue, you best, you open hope on the bags. We getting ready to go to New York. You see more significance of our role on the Security Council. We're preparing for December when our president will play some role in presiding over that 1 month period we have to preside over the sections of the Security Council. These are not ordinary things. These are serious image-related progress that the country has made. Drugs is everywhere. I was talking to one friend who have worked to JFK for years, and the guy says, do you know planes going in and every day? Do you know how many different kinds of drugs can be arrested at the airport? Not because they don't make noise the way I can make noise, but your own thing here. It's an everyday thing. As strong, as big, and powerful as America is. I lived there for about 7 years. Drugs all over the place. What matters is that if these drugs are infiltrated into the country and you grab people, what do you do? That what do you do is what we're doing so effectively. People who we get linked with drugs, whether in government, whether you're former government official, whether you're private citizen, you account. So you don't try to make an issue out of the fact that drugs is as though all the other places. Where was the drug going? Is Europe? If it is so impossible because of what their status is at that drug, so why was the drug going in the first place? Don't you know that if we didn't arrest the drug, they would have gone there? And if we were the culprits of our own drug business, why would we arrest them as though gave $1 million? Why would we announce it that we see drug? We're allowed to go. It's cross training, it's cross everything. And we said no. And we've ensured that all the loopholes there are to sneak drug out of this country are screwed up. And that's the reason why the focus now is getting it from wherever they are. And that's what we're doing. We're not going to protect anybody. We've said it over and over. If even me, Minister Pierre, the evidences point to the fact that I'm in drug business, nobody will protect me, nobody will cover me. I will take the fall and I will face the full consequence of the law. Nobody in our administration is exempt from being dealt with if you fall in drugs business because we're honest and sincere about our desire to fight drugs. So maybe what I could say to my sister Joelle is that you've milked this country for years. And be pleased for once with the extent to which you've milked our country and give us a chance to do what you couldn't do. If you did everything yesterday as you clean, you talk about Bon Community, Cali, the other Cali, you think the people crazy? If they saw you and they made any determination that you were helpful to them, you would have been here. And they continue to be so lazy to say, oh, we're defeated because of politics, not because we didn't perform. You've been in government for 24 years plus. You don't understand politics? You say the project was finished. We are who was desperate for dedicating everything you say. He said the project was finished, but I go win our election for people who can dedicate it. Where? So I think the sister should cool off because she's had enough time milking public resources. Let her not get angry because she's off for just 2.5 years. It's just been 2.5 years since she's been off. The sky has not fallen. Don't misrepresent what is going on in the country. You left nothing in Bon County. That's why you were booted out. You say Prince, you are close to everything because you're deputy speaker. So deputy speaker and vice president sort of work together. Then Bon County is going to be there heaven. Where? The men say you expected to make Bon County or heaven their own country. You coming? The Joseph Boaga just started coming to pave the road from Barclayville to Southtown. Why did he leave there? Before you say he's supposed to turn Bon County out of heaven. if there's been any opportunity for serious, intentional, and targeted developmental initiative in this country, this is a period is happening. And thank God there's a recognition on the part of most of them to say, oh, the people talk too much, they lie, they play trade, they trade. So you don't have the capacity. Because you don't have the capacity, when you try to manufacture things, we'll always be here to correct you. We'll always be there to erect the checkpoints. And that's why I don't get surprised when I hear all the crying about the work I do, the work Minister Sando do, the work the ClassReloaded does, and we'll continue to do so. I think those could be introductory comments. I was reading something where Senator Snow was quoted as saying the government handling of the ship that was on our territorial water is a smoke screen and blah 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 blah. But there are many issues here to untangle when you're listening to Senator Snow and others. First, they got the different definition of what government is. Some of them see themselves as private actors or private citizens. They're not part of government. And that's unfortunate. He's one of those, like I was mentioning about Joel, who's been in government for this long, and he does not even understand what constitutes a government. You're in another branch of the government, but you see yourself as not having anything to do with government. To the extent that you said you wanted the government to fail. Who sits in an arrangement is a part of it and say the thing I'm sitting part of, I want you to fail. If that doesn't take any credibility away from him, if that doesn't undermine any piece of integrity in anybody who's still listening to him, then those people say got issues. For a person who's on record to say, even though he's a part of the government, he say, I want the government to fail. And is that person who is a source of information and comments and perspective about the government, and you listen to them, something got to be wrong with you. This man technically has put his own country, because when you say you want the government to fail, it's not about your political adversaries that you want to target. You're saying a whole nation should fail. People should suffer. They should not have roads. They should not have food to eat. They should have nothing in the hospital. Schools should not function. Anything that the government is supposed to do as its function to the state must not be done, because that's what will constitute failure. Meanwhile, these people who you want to suffer as a result of the failure, their taxes paying you luxuriously every month and you're comfortably living on it. Something got to be fundamentally wrong with these people. And they believe that their voices are serious voices. So they pass around yelling every day, talking on every issue. They were vexed here when we started the class where they say minister interviewing minister. I see all of them now, they are talk show panelists on other platforms. So that's a hypocrisy. The things you criticize today, you get embedded into it. And if people taking these people serious, you better think twice and look different way and don't look up to those people. They don't love your country. They've said they want your country to fail. They're not going to say anything good. Everything is a different situation. We had a ship that was not in our territorial waters. By the time the ship came to our territorial water, we pursued it right away. It fled. We contacted our regional network. Based on that, the ship is arrested. It's in custody in Cote d'Ivoire. You don't even know what conversation we and them have. You say it was a smoke screen. Smoke screen, and our ships will disappear. It has to be in any custody anywhere. But you see, that was the government's reaction. That was a smoke screen because you are a private citizen. You're not part of the government, I guess. We can't continue this hypocrisy and think that it's okay. The people are not crazy. You did all the chicanery, they still voted you out. You still have not learned lesson, you'll continue to do it, and they will continue to punish you. In fact, when you read your teenager, you can look at it. For me, when I rest on your Facebook, the first thing I can do, I can self-analyze. I run to the comments. Then I will know whether I'm doing something logical or something crazy. Because the comments can be bad. And still some of them don't see it and they still continue to post Tabata. Let me rest there.
Thank you, Minister Pia. Thank you so much for joining us. And more, we're going to come to you. But Patrick, I'm going to let you know I got your stuff already uploaded. And somebody called me today, and I want to say big shout out to Louis 4 days. I know ELBC is conducting something when we are doing this, but we have to find a way for ELBC to relay the show at another time during the day. I don't know if we can coordinate. This is very important. I want to say big shout out to the audience, man. Over the last 3 days, every single day, the audience has been climbing. We are no longer stuck around 2,400, 2,500 people. Every single day, we are pushing 3,000 people. It's a very big deal. Thank you for always sharing the show. Let's continue to climb these numbers. Mo, your intake on this thing before we go to the actual. We spent a lot of stuff on the drug issue today, but what's on your mind? What's popping with you regarding what Mana Howard Taylor said? Please mute if you're not speaking.
Tualu, I think the minister, good evening to everyone. I think the minister has spoken on this lengthily, and I don't think I should take my time again going on it. Minister has spoken and others have spoken. I think
More than
we
new
should
computer.
discuss serious matters.
That new computer?
No, that another old computer I'm using here, so
I don't want clear power.
yeah. So I think we should discuss others, serious matters and leave her alone. You know, it's not easy.
All right, Mo, that was very short. Patrick, let me have you zoom through these. We'll go to the drug case tonight. I uploaded about 4 pictures for you. The first one is here. You want to comment on them as I go back and forth?
I don't want to agree with Mo that we should just leave things. Somebody got to mute.
Yeah.
So let me just briefly talk my own. You know, over the last, there are 2 periods in our country's history, in our generation, that have been more devastating. During the civil conflict, this country was devastated. And during the 6 years when Madam Joa Taylor served as vice president, this is what she said. This is a paper in 2019. Join CDC or get fired. You know, history is for history. She said this. Put the other one up. She was entangled in a row, in a rift. Well, this was the visa restriction. But the other one, she was entangled in a rift with a former president. Over the last 6 years, they were back and forth, strained in a relationship. So she comes now and presents the picture like everything was rosy over the last 6 years. That's unfortunate, but the Liberian people know better. They know that in Bon County today, they are building the diagnostic center that is nearing completion, similar to what is happening in Margibi County. This is huge because it's going to serve not only the people of Bon County, but the people of that region. That is where you're going to have to diagnose the actual illness, the cause of any illness that you may have had. So this is going to be the first time in Bon County. Madam Taylor and others travel to Ghana, to India and other places to go and just diagnose the illness. She doesn't have to go that far anymore. She will have to do that in Bon County. And she says nothing has happened. I was in Bon County and I spoke with the superintendent weeks ago. And the superintendent told me the park that they were doing here, they're building a better park. That's not the sports academy. This one is different from the sports academy. It's going to be a park, recreational park, for the young people of Bon County, for the people of Bon County. The funding is available. The project, the procurement process was completed, and everything is on course. That project will start this year. And you say nothing has happened? Well, Madam Taylor needs to wait. In fact, it's not even 3 years. So let them start rushing the years. It's 2 years, 7 months. But in fact, when it's August 22, it will be 2 years, 7 months. So let them start rushing the years. And we can now move on to our drug issue. At least I've had some time to remind her of her role in the past 6 years. And even in the checkered history. So there are 2 devastating periods. During the civil conflict, which she played a part in, and the 6 years, she also played a part. What can you tell us?
Thank you. Patrick, please mute. And even yesterday, in fact, even the same Joel Howard Taylor, they say it was their time to eat. Look, yesterday you guys were not here. We had to, because we really have to stretch this out today more. I will actually begin with you. We read the whole thing already, but I want to call these 3 excerpts so people can be abreast of what we discussed yesterday, where Omar Conan published something on his Facebook page. And I want to hear your response to that. Here's the first one, right? So pay attention. And he said, we fully support our president. This is Senator Omar Conan of the great county of Bapolo County. This is what he said. We fully support our president in his two-front war and urge him not to let his advisors hold him hostage. He should move beyond superficial optics and be the CIC to flush out all enemies in this battle against illicit drugs. Basically, he said the president don't have his own mind. That's the first thing from that excerpt. Additionally, Senator Conan went on to say, for example, he said this: when the leading anti-drug chief recuses himself instead of facing immediate dismissal and criminal charges over a cartel bribery scandal, it clearly reflects a lack of accountability and represents a strategic retreat. It's another thing. Because somebody recused themselves so an investigation will go on, Senator Omar Conan say it shows weakness on the part of the government. One thing he continues, one thing that is worth highlighting for our president is that public distrust remains high following the massive multi-million-dollar drug cocaine bust due to ongoing internal turmoil within the investigation. Senator Omar Conan saying because there's so much drug bust in the country, it's making the people unhappy. Mo, let me ask you a question. What does Senator Conan want? I'll mute.
So, Dwalu, again, let me say this. I am as confused as anyone else as to what the senator wants or what all of them want. Because in normal life, when there are people fighting cartel, what they do, they bust drug laws, they bought drugs, and all the kind of thing where they are stuck. In Liberia, when people are opposed to you and you catch criminal, they say you do the wrong thing. Oh, it's a bad thing. If it is under the radar and nobody cares, like it was during the CDC time, only we saw falling zombies and people in the streets, then it's good. Had we not busted these drug cartels and the shipments of drugs from Liberia, who was going to know? Was it going to appear like people shipping drugs through Liberia? Would I just come up here every night and have a normal political talk show? Right? But what the senators and others are saying, it is a bad thing for you to go catch drugs. They say that bad thing. And so it confuses me on what they want. Under normal circumstances, in normal society, the senators should be praising the government. They should be praising the vigilance of the security sector. That in fact, they are put into place mechanisms that is allowing people to secretly complain or bring in information that will lead to these drug catches that we are doing. It is part of the confidence building within the security sector. How come they are not seeing that? And then I read something, oh, the president needs to set up an independent investigative commission. They must bring who? Civilian there to investigate? I'm not sure that's what they're referring to. The government of Liberia has brought in experts from the USDEA. There are Moroccans who are experts. And there are also Rwandans who are experts. They are all here helping with this investigation. So every time they say, set up independent committee to investigate, that would even put their me. And some people even suggested, let the Pope do other people then to go in. What do they want? Can we set up a committee of experts from the Senate to investigate? Maybe that would be okay.
Maybe they got experts there, security experts. Momo Cyrus in there, Senator Momo Cyrus. But for me, as long as these people do not hear that Gregory Cuomo is associated, Jojo Bwaka Jr. is associated, Mo Ali is associated, Patrick Ona, Jerolime Pia, they are never going to be happy. Never and ever going to be happy. That is the only thing that will please them. Oh yeah, they now arrest all the security chiefs. So I don't know what Senator Kone wants. But what I do know is that they don't want anything to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo. Please mute. Thank you guys for muting when you're not speaking. Cole, let's come to you. We covered this somewhat yesterday. One of the things that a little bit took me off about what Senator Conan wrote was that the president is being held hostage. Every decision that is being made is superficial. We can list some of the decisions that has been taken by the administration. Not only is the NSA involved or all the drug agency that the president has fired people, he continued to investigate people, dismiss people, the Americans are involved. Senator Connor is saying everything is superficial and the president does not have his own mind, he's being held hostage. How can he make that argument? Go.
I'm wondering if my brother Amara is just thinking that what he's doing is political maneuvering. Y'all excuse me, I'm not well, but I had to come on today because I'm very disappointed in a lot of people who have been given the authority to govern the country by the citizens. Amara is one of them, Edwin Snow is another. They don't realize that they're part of the government. Our government has 3 branches, and you can't be in the Senate and undermine the government and think you're undermining somebody other than yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to say is that, oh, cool, y'all sorry.
Don't many people come for that help.
I'll fall down. I'm a normal thing, I guess.
And you
I don't
say
like
go rest
I think
there.
that the more time I can sit and think. But let me tell you, Amara is actually embarrassing himself among people who know better. So he's got 2 audiences politically. His first audience are the people that he looks down on intellectually, that he thinks don't know better. The people that he thinks are simple-minded and cannot figure out simple statistics, simple reasoning. That's his first audience. And that's the only audience he's pandering to. That audience he thinks, is going to carry him somewhere politically. Because, oh, I will tell them this, I will show, but guess what? Amar has another audience. People like me, people like Mo Ali, people like all of us on this panel, people like the people he went to school with, our international partners that he loves sucking up to, right? He's got another audience that's watching and listening to his rants. And those people don't have the same attention span, the short attention span that the average citizen does, right? They are not going to forget the things that Amara is spewing. Saying that he and Laurent Dodu from Front Page Africa, Rodney C.A.P., that went and became a correspondent at Al Jazeera just to go there and go lie on our country, talking about 80% increase in drugs. Based on what statistic? They don't understand basic mathematics. They don't understand it. They don't understand that statistics are based on data sets. The only people who know, Senator Conant, the only people who know precise statistics on drug importation are the drug importers, because it's an illicit act that's done undercover in the cloak of darkness. This is not information that law enforcement has access to, because unless it's the law enforcement people who are part of the cartel. So whoever is leaking that information to Rodney Sia and his Pekin Laurent Dodu and you, Senator Cornett, those are the people who would know, because logically they're the ones who know how much they're importing if they're increasing it by 80%. The alternative to that is you don't understand statistics. Because if seizure has increased by 80%, that doesn't mean drugs have automatically increased by 80%. It means that the DEA is now working. And even if the amount of drugs that have been brought in has decreased, the DEA is confiscating more drugs. So logically and sensibly,
What you all are claiming around the world and publicly is embarrassing you more than it is embarrassing Liberia. I normally don't go after people specifically and name names, but Amara, I'm very disappointed in the position that you're taking on these things. The second thing is you have a sitting, an active investigation going on. Somebody is given a 48-hour ultimatum to see if there was an ethical violation or a criminal violation. There's definitely a violation, right? So we're looking at both ethics and criminality. You don't want due process? The Major jump up and say, yeah, fire the man. These are the same people when President Boyka dismisses people, they jump up and they start rallying and quote people in the street. You go, oh, the Pape job remove people. These things are very serious. I think it's the right thing to do to investigate. I don't think you, Senator Connor, should be undermining or dictating to the president how to go about doing his job. I don't think that's appropriate given the circumstances of the situation. And then the last thing I will say is this. For the Rodney Sears and the Stantons and the Martin Cullys and these people who are putting out information that only certain people would be privileged enough to know, they are not investigators. They don't have the skill. Somebody's leaking information to them. There's a difference between people giving you information so you can go on social media and do propaganda and you being sensible enough to eat. You would have to go to Liberia and you would have to set up sting operations and surveillance to get the information you have. You don't have that capability, and we all know it. So in order for you to be leaking information before law enforcement does, someone has to be giving it to you. There's only two things that are possible. There was a Nigerian comedian that used to say there's two things involved, right? Y'all remember that? If you're leaking information, sensitive information, there's two things involved. Thing number one, either the cartel is leaking it to you or the cartel-sponsored law enforcement moles in the system are leaking it to you, right? And if the cartel is leaking it to you, you know, you are collaborating and you're working with the cartel. Number two, if it's law enforcement leaking it to you, it's the security sector leaking this information. There's two things involved. Either they are part of the cartel or they are legitimate whistleblowers. If they're legitimate whistleblowers, why are they not providing this information to the rightful people? If they don't trust LDEA, why they don't carry it to the U.S. partners or other partners? Why are they giving it to Martin? To undermine the investigation and undermine law enforcement. Because what this serves to do is to undermine the investigation. And they are grandstanding, thinking it's making them popular and powerful. It does not. It makes you a cartel collaborator. You are doing the bidding of the people who are dragging our country down. What is your mission? What is your mission? There is no way anybody can tell me that these people are so brilliant to sit on the internet and be able to Google who gave what car to who. It's impossible. Who's leaking the information? The very people who gave the car. Because they're the ones that will know. And so Liberian people, y'all shine your eyes. Y'all shine your eyes and stop listening to this. These people, the very people that y'all putting out there to be heroes, are very, very dangerous. They're suspicious. There's self-promotion they're on at the expense of the rest of us. And we're not stupid. Nobody's stupid in Liberia. Those days are over where you can just come and just say any nonsense and nobody responds. That's all I gotta say. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Councilor Mon, let's come to you. You were here with us yesterday. Some of the things they said, it is angering to many instances. And just to remind you of some of the stuff was, the president does not have his own mind. The president is being held hostage. Recusal, it is bad for the country. Number one, that he should not recuse himself, because he recuses himself. That means the president is very weak. The president should have fired him. Because of all these drugs arrests across the country, people are mad that they're arresting drugs. These are all the stuff that the Honorable Conan has said. Should we give it any credibility? Honorable Conan should know better. What's his intention? What is he aiming to achieve here? Councilor Mon, let me mute.
Well, I think the senator will be the best person to answer that. But, as I said yesterday, it's it's funny. In one voice, you say, I commend the president. In the same line, you say, the president is being held hostage by advisors, which means that the president is not a man of it. He doesn't think on his own. And he said the president should stop the superficial optics. Superficial optics. Because people have been suspended, dismissed, investigated. They are not in jail. And somebody recused themselves, but they are not in jail. You know, look, and that is what the minister just said. And I said it yesterday on the platform, that special show program. You know, as a government official, and no less than a legislator, because we don't have a parliament, a legislator, a senator, a high-ranking senator who is on the Senate Leadership Committee, and have every opportunity to see that the governance of the country is in the right trajectory, right path. Because you see, every government officials, even the least ones, the Constitution says before you take office, you must swear an oath to the Constitution to uphold the laws of the Republic. If you will leave that Senate platform, and that was my disappointment with, you know, the other senators who were bearing so hard on Samuel Nangwe. But Samuel Nangwe responded to the same two senators. All right. Now you are in a seat of privilege. You can determine through your work in the Senate whether the security sector should be upgraded and give them all the necessary apparatus to fight what you think should be fought. If you believe that the drug menace should be fought, you have that power to do so. You look, the Senate has the power now to look at going a special legislation to vote on funding, additional funding, or whatever it is to beef up the work of the joint security in the fight against drug. You have that power to do so, but yet you leave that platform. You come outside. First, you start with guilt by association. All right. So, because people say, oh, you remember when Senator Snow and the rest of them started with the vice president? He took pictures with certain people. And you know, it's funny. Why you do, I see some people talking about Mamalu, you know, Jonathan Mamalu. Jonathan Mamalu is also my friend. In fact, we are teammates on the Pinsville Old Timer football team. We play soccer for years. All right. But does that mean that I know if he has other nefarious activities, does that mean that you know that? Now, the same people who are pointing fingers because people are close to this person or take picture with this person or working with this person, that the same people who sit down on a platform with a convict, somebody who is currently convicted of a crime, serious criminal offense, but they believe that that is a better platform. That is a platform that has credibility to speak of other criminals. Can you imagine that? But what I thought was so disingenuous on the part, you cannot sweet mob the president and then in the same paragraph bring the president to that lowest level to tell us that first he's being kidnapped, and how you use kidnapped by his advisors, and the superficial optics that he's putting out there. You understand? And you are a sitting senator. That's why the minister says, so are you a part of the government? So what they want to achieve, it is only them that can answer. But what I say is that for me as a Liberian, I have also a duty to the country. So I have a duty to say that what these people are doing, if it is wrong in my view, I have a duty to sit here and tell them that it is absolutely wrong. You can't be a part of the government at that level and destroy the same government image when indeed the government does everything that has to be done. You know, people are talking about the judge today talk about the jury selection process should begin in the cocaine case. But say, oh, to go to the jury again. Because, you see, that's what the Minister of Justice said. Look, even in criminal prosecution, you can even have evidence against the person you want to accuse. The question the prosecutor will always ask, is this evidence enough for me to get a conviction? Because the court of public opinion is a different thing. The court of law, to come and secure a conviction, it is a different standard, very high, especially in criminal prosecution. So for the fact that the president says some people are dismissed, some people are suspended, and investigate them, then Snow say, why are these people walking the street free? They are under investigation. Do you wait to see whether investigation will even bring a criminal culpability? Because like Carl said, and I said it yesterday, ethical breach does not necessarily mean criminal culpability. And secondly, also, you may even smell sense of criminality, but you don't have the evidence to secure a conviction. So you cannot take the person to court. But the president, as being the head, can take administrative and decisive action. That because of your unethical behavior, or because I'm not satisfied with your conduct, I think there's only we can find the evidence to prosecute you, I will dismiss you from my government. That is part of the accountability that good leaders will do. And I expect my brothers to know that. But for you to criticize the president for that and believe that everybody who they name must be rounded up and put in South Beach and taken to court, and then the same Liberian people, when they go to court and they don't have the evidence and they say these people are not guilty, they will say, oh, that was just a fun fair. You might not tell say that real optics now. They were just showing, just to show people that they demonstrated that they went to court, but they ain't got no case against the people. You don't do that. You don't do that. You didn't want it to be like the $100 million case that went to court. And I asked every lawyer, everybody else to read that case and read the files. You think that is what you want to fight this drug menace that's in our country? So, Tualu, you keep asking the question, what do they want? They want the government to fail. They want the nation to collapse. That is why I said over the years, Carl may know the history, but somehow Liberians got in their mind that for me to gain relevance, I must always bring the government down. I must always bring the negative that is facing the government and not the positive. People believe that if you promote and say thank you to President Bouaka for fighting drugs, it may be making him stronger for what they can call their 2029. Because that's all it is. All right? That's all it is. They can't believe that they're telling him thank you, it will make him stronger for the 2029. So people are saying, I heard Rodney say that, oh, if the president doesn't take that action after the 48 hours, it will determine his fate for 2029. It will not determine any fate for 2029. No fate. 48 hours does not determine what the Liberian people will vote for in 2029. On one person, on Biago. So that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you, Councilor Mon. Minister Pia, before we go to Patrick, let's come to you. How is recusal of oneself for an investigation where you are involved means the president is weak? How does that correlate, Honorable Pia?
I'm not sure that's the kind of question I want to answer directly, but we need some reflection. I was around in 2017. I was in the mansion. I was not just around. I was in the executive mansion. I was in the office of the president. And as our government was moving towards transition, all of us who were players in that government took different political interests. And there was a whole generation of people who did not want to see this man called Joseph Bouaka come to power. And my brother and friend Amara was one of them. That intention was not hidden. He worked towards it. They did all that they could do to bring Weah to power. And then eventually Weah did not want to see him. So he was in his own world. Thanks to God, my friend is a smart guy. He did many productive things, MIT, World Bank, etc., to make it. He was just among individuals who just hinge on the politics of the day and the dividends thereof to survive. It would have been tough. So because of that historical reflection I just gave you, I cannot be surprised about anything that is happening now, even though 2 weeks or less than that to the election of 2023, he came on board. And I always tell people President Bouaka did not win the elections at the last minute. It took years of serious political work that established him It was because of that, for me personally, I always told people as they were mad with the likes of Henry Costa and other people, I always established the fact that something went wrong with these individuals about the way they conducted themselves at the end. But at the same time, I've always felt it was not fair to just throw them in just one babush because they did some work. These people did all the work before others came towards the end to say we're part of this thing. Sometimes we contradict ourselves so much. I remember when my friend Furanti case were going on, these were people who were establishing due process and rule of law and all these kind of different caucuses. Today, those due process and rule of law cliche, they stood where they say don't do it anymore. When they say Amru Mana, they just fire you. And you don't do it, then you're weak. You know, if it's not hypocrisy, what it is. You cannot be on the other side. The government, like Cole said, has three separate, distinct but coordinated branches of government. You can't be in one and want to dictate to what the people in the other one will do. When they drug things started, they called a whole session of all the security people. What were they trying to do? What can they say is the outcome of what they did? What did they do? What authority were they relying on? Is it not because they're part of the government that they want to fail? Or is it not because they're part of the government that they believe is not doing well? If the government is not doing well, they are not doing much. Then everybody should be kicked out. Is he prepared as a collective member of the government to bear such consequence if you sincerely believe what he's saying? Drug business did not start now. There was 100 million, there was 50 million, there was 30 million. I've been trying to research. Thank God Facebook is a library. I've been going on my brother's page, checking to see the positions he took during those days when 100 million drugs were discovered here, 150 million drugs. I haven't seen one. Not a single comment he made about what was happening in the country here regarding the drug issue. So, you see, if you try to link everything from 2017 to what happened this time, what happened that time, then you see some anger against someone that they try to stretch to their limit. But we are here. We are here, and we continue to erect the checkpoints and give constant reminders. And nobody got the keys for manipulation of our people. Nobody. In fact, if people are thinking that the things they're doing, running around, making themselves talk show people and all those kind of things can unravel anything, it's a waste of time. It can't unravel anything. Nothing. I mean, just imagine what they put top processes as for somebody to say, hey, for the AR party, when I would determine the government. That is the same way the misled we are here. They all line up behind him. Writing articles after article, the bigger message of course Joseph Boakai sake. That was complemented with plenty of money. It didn't help you. That now, when the very Joseph Boakai you try to criticize unnecessarily is in power, and he's disappointed out of you by his performance, worried that he's performing, so you're wanting to fail, because performance for politicians is a blockade to their own political future and advancement. I mean, I was watching a video where the same man that Ambrose called a name, he put a people camera on. They run around the road and say, all the cars stop because of bad road going to the southeast. But you see from the angle, the man who doing the video recording, he's driving in a small car and moving in the direction. By the time he reaches the end of where he's supposed to show why we really crossing the road of black, he got a video on. Because no bad road was there. A crazy truck breaks down on the road, blocks the road. So all the other trucks that were going, you got a BB truck. So they all stuck there. He had a smaller car so he could park all those trucks to reach. He could even park at the place where the road was actually black to go because you were riding a smaller car. But by the time you reach there,
let me show the video for 1 second if you don't mind. I'll show you the video for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where? We slept, we went to camp. Oh, God, you play yesterday. You were just going on the top and I had to tell you. The morning, you were like, what was that party? You slept in Yara. Still give you morning. I tell you, we're thinking about taking all the way.
So you heard what the man said? You heard the man clearly say a car fell down?
Yeah.
So the car fell down the road black, but the headline with that video say bad road. Car got stuck there for hours, if that days. If people are doing those kinds of things and anybody still listening to them, you're wasting your time because they don't have credibility anymore. They've destroyed themselves. If you watch the video, try to call it up, but if you watch it, coming to where the car actually fell down, where they're supposed to see what the cause of that traffic is, you call the video up. So these are a bunch of angry people. They didn't believe. I remember when the decisions were being made in 2017, many of the people who didn't support Bouakai say he was not a leader who can make decisions. The man can make decisions, he can make this. So he now came back 2023, won the election, is making sound decisions. That's why the country is why it is. And rather than embracing, and as a member of the government, working to make the government to succeed further, you in the government and want to undermine the government by all these actions that you're taking. You know, it's not fair. You can't be pretending that you love the country and doing all these things to the country. But if the goal is politics, and I think that's where I will end on, as I say good night to you guys. If the goal is politics, if the goal is also part of your own process of trying to unseat the government and bring the people you want, then it's already failed. Because these people that we have here called Liberians, you can mislead them. When you were in power and you made a mess of the country, they saw it. So even 150 million budget for the campaign could not change their mind. They're seeing the realities that we live in. They're seeing their electricity. They're seeing their roads. They go to hospital, they can get medicine. They see improvement in their schools and all of the things that are happening. Don't forget, a national anthem was created. Bread and butter, because they saw the roads, they saw the electricity, they saw everything. So it was all about something called bread and butter. That was a mere talking point. It disappeared months ago. They don't mention it anymore. Because they did not have any basis for an intellectual engagement or political commentary. What were they talking about? When a government came to power and has been able to keep rice at the lowest price for going to 3 years. When after Jeremiah Kuhn was given his responsibility and his work, some of the things that appear to have been skyrocketing, they got stable and they remain there forever. Where a bread and butter argument? That one is gone. The one that disappeared also, which Joel tried to resurrect in our argument, was claiming every project to be their project. That one too is barely surviving, perhaps its own oxygen. If those talking points are gone, where stand these? If you are going to heaven, that heaven road black already. You will give a U-turn and go to political hell where you belong. Your good night.
Thank you, Minister Pierre. Minister Sando will come to you. We'll go up to Patrick. You have not spoken for a while. Thank you, Minister. Let me make sure you're muted because for some reason you are muted. Minister Sando, is anybody holding the president hostage?
You know, Dwalu, thank you for bringing me on, and I'm very much excited on the trend of the conversation. But I just want to say that it is important for our people who are listening to us to get to understand the true motive of some of these people who think that politics is all about deception. You hear someone saying, oh, the Unity Party Alliance won the campaign, won the election through lies. So you see, they themselves now are trying to peddle lies and create a scenario where it do not exist. And so you see some senators who are supposed to be in charge of the drug issue, because on a very serious note, The Liberian Senate took siege of the matter. They've been briefed on 2 separate occasions. And through the Committee on Defense, Security, and Intelligence, the Senate has been briefed regularly. But for 2 of these senators to keep coming on the radio and making insinuations that draws the integrity of the Liberian Senate into question is mind-blowing, and I thought it is something that should be brought to the attention of the leadership of the Senate. Senator Amrakwane believes that the president is being held hostage because people who are involved with the drug situation are being arrested, are being prosecuted, some are being suspended, some are being dismissed. So all the things they didn't expect to happen are happening. So they still try to create doubt where there's no doubt. And to that end, I listened to one of them was on one of the show the other day. He said the quietude in the country is sponsored by the way the government is handling it. Because the government has not opted to protect anybody who is involved with it. Hairs are rolling. So the reason why some of the people in opposition are quiet is because they know what is coming for them. The drug scenario in the country didn't start in 2024. You listen to the Minister of Justice, who is the co-chair of the Joint National Security. He said it is believed to have started about 6 years ago. And that information was corroborated by what the police RG said. So the way the president has handled this issue clearly showed that he's a decisive leader. And he's not being held hostage anywhere. The president surrounds himself with sincere people, people who are good intention for the country. So when Senator Amrakwane making the insinuation, he should also know that he's toiling with the reputation of others who have lived to build that reputation for themselves. And these are the people who don't like you to disagree with them. Oh, they're attacking us because we're expressing our view. But the views that you're expressing about other people are very offensive. So when you say the president is being held hostage, what are you saying? That the president, National Security Advisor, Mr. Kofi Woos, is trying to arm towards the president to do something wrong? Are you saying that the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs got other motives that he's pursuing for which the desire of the president on this issue is not being implemented? And like who says, sometimes when you're talking to people, know who you're talking to. Because Ndakone knows that the things he's saying will not penetrate the walls of the intelligentsia. He's simply talking for the sake of talking so that people can say, oh yeah, Amara then a critical voice. But who consider Amara a critical voice in Liberia? When this man bears some of the greater responsibility for reversing the gains the country made in the past. Minister Pierre mentioned the bringing of Weah to the presidency. Amara was at the core. He was at the core. They came here, they organized fictitious pool. Now make it to appear that nobody ever won the election in 2017 other than George Weah. Amara was at the epic center of all of these fictitious and dealings. Just to set the public tune that Weah, that the whole country was prepared to elect Weah as president. And indeed, the plot was successfully executed. They went, they connived, they colluded, and systematically rigged that election and said to the public that, look, the men won 14 counties. Somebody who was in opposition, never had a money to campaign through all the country, no logistics, no message, nothing on the count, could win 14 counties. When you made him president, and president by default, 6 years after, he spent over 100 million in the campaign. He couldn't defeat the Joseph Boga who they say was sick or going to die the next year after the election. So you see the paradox? You see the contradiction? So, so I mean, I know Amara is out. He come from the Islamic faith, but as Christian, when I'm guilty, I go to seek the face of God in supplication for the things that Amara colluded and did to this country, for which it seems now that we are starting anew on the leadership of President Bouaka. He needs to take a time to go to the mosque on Friday to seek the face of Allah in supplication. Let it be forgive. Because this country, there are so many persons who died by the roadside because the hospitals were not functional. There are so many students who cannot go to school because of the decision that the Alexa Amara made to make Joe president. We have not forgotten it. So when they come here and pretend that there's some angel and they got all the solutions to the country's problem, it becomes so annoying. We know them. And so they shouldn't toy with the intelligence of our people.
Thank you.
We have a government to run.
Thank you.
It is good that you are a member of the Senate and you don't see yourself as part of the government. The other day, when I tried to question the senator's handling of the PSC, he took offense. But you know, the Public Account Committee is a very key committee. And I see him trying to carry out public hearing on all the reports that are almost 3, 4, 10 years old. What has he been doing for the last 2 years, 6 months in the Senate? The PSC received direct support from the leadership of the Senate. Monies are given every time. What report? What? Where are they with the audit report? So, I mean, the way people see politics are deception and things that everybody in the country has suddenly become stupid. And when you even go on the radio and say things that don't make sense, people believe you, is wrong. The Liberian people are very intelligent. And that's why when Senator Snow the other day tried to reduce everything about this country that is 179-year-old to bread and butter, we say we're very disrespectful. When you're here, then you go to Ghana. You fly, you go to India. How many Liberians can afford ticket? So when we try to build hospitals, we try to build roads, we try to bring in pipeline water, improve basic social services, connect new county with electricity, give the government a time. Because some of you, particularly Mr. Snow, the government that came from, the government they had a year, we know what happened. So we do not want to deep dive into the history. The country has to move forward. And so far, so good. To conclude, I think the president's handling, the government handling of the drug situation is excellent so far. If anybody think that the spark in the arrest of the drug or the arrest of 3 million drugs, so it means that drug in the country, no. The reason why these drugs are being arrested is because the government said we got zero tolerance position. Nobody will use our country as a transit point to traffic drugs. That's why, because of the posture of the government, because of that policy, more drugs will be arrested. Unlike in time past, where millions of drugs were arrested and not a single person could be held accountable, today we can list about 20 persons that have been lined up for trial. And we have to use our platform wherever we are to call on the Liberians who will be selected as jurors in our court. They have to see this case beyond their normal political chicanery. It is not about the CDC or the Unity Party. It's about Liberia. When you are a citizen being selected to serve as juror in that case, you must put your country first. You must see your brothers, your sisters that are dying in the ghetto on a daily basis to say, look, I have to take a decision because this thing is destroying my country. That's my own charge to the people who will be selected as juror. As we proceed with the conversation, we have to do it consistently because I'm doing this because I'm told the judge today opened the process for jury selection. I know we cannot intervene, but they are Liberian citizens who will be selected. You have to pay heed to the advice we are giving you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Sano. Honorable Nambu, welcome to the show. Patrick, you've been following. I'm pretty sure you've read where Senator Cullen wrote, and you can also comment on Senator Snow, some of his utterances across, and how he feels about his government. The platform is your guys. Let's consider we got a few people on the show. If you can cut it within 3-4 minutes, I'll much appreciate it. Thank you, Patrick. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. So, Daniel, the jury selection is set for Thursday. Judge Roosevelt Willie has set Thursday for the 13th Judicial Circuit Court in Mangibi County. there. So that jury selection will begin Thursday for the over 300 million US dollar worth of cocaine brought into the country. That case, I just needed to make that point. You know, when you have 9 years, you can afford to position yourself and play politics, to position yourself to either become president and vice president, even though it's very disingenuous, because sometimes in your attempt to position yourself, it becomes very annoying with some of the rash, comments and all of that. But you can afford to position yourself. You know, some of the people who said ministers were interviewing ministers on the show here, oh, people interviewing government officials, are the same ones interviewing themselves now. That's hypocrisy. Because when you claim that, oh, government official interview, you made all the noise about that. At the same time, now you're the ones doing it. They appear regularly as talk show hosts now, like we are doing. Some of them said Dillon was a Facebook senator. You remember when Dillon won in Monserrato here? Dillon, oh, everything you put on Facebook, and they made it to appear like it was a crime that Dillon was posting. These are the people who post nice pictures. They will do long articles, go in the picture gallery, take fine picture, watch it. Tomorrow morning you will see one nice picture, and they'll put it there, they'll put it long thing there and all of that to position themselves. And this is all about politics, and our people have to know this. Part of it is the people cannot stomach JNB as president, and the same people who could not stomach this man as president are the same ones who still cannot stomach him succeeding as president. I was behind the microphone before 2017 election. And at that time, we used to hear ministers fighting ministers. That was after Madam Sirleaf had won the second term. She was not eligible to contest for the third term. And then whether you hear Amara Gafwan, Kofi, everybody fighting to either be running mate or to be on the ticket, and all of that. All of them, the UP gave them the position to serve as Minister of Finance and all of that. Their first entry into government, for the most part, some of them, the same Unity Party gave them the platform to serve. So they started fighting amongst themselves. And then they started fighting JNB from becoming president in 2017. At the end of the day, they ensured that JNB lost. JNB came back and won the election. Don't you expect these same people to fight? So they are fighting in all kinds of ways to make sure this man does not succeed. That is the fight that is going on, and our people have to know it. I see on Facebook, and I'm closing, I see on Facebook people saying 48 hours, 48 hours. I want to read a quote of the executive mansion statement, because some of these very people are shouting, oh, 48 hours. They say 48 hours. Here is the quote. Here is what the press release said. Following a review of the communication, the president has directed the Minister of Justice to immediately launch a comprehensive and impartial investigation into the allegations and all related circumstances surrounding the matter. Then here comes this paragraph. The Minister of Justice has been instructed to submit a detailed report, to the president within 48 hours. Who they say they must submit the report to? To the president within 48 hours. They didn't say submit the report, the president can release the report in 48 hours. People are trying to play politics in this drug saga. Every step along the way, they are trying to play politics. And as somebody said, the cartel knows how to fight back. And you'll be amazed, the cartel fights back through unusual sources. So the 48 hours becomes an issue that the president said, submit the report to me in 48 hours. I like to close up by saying this. The credibility of this investigation is something we should be proud of, because this government, this president is ensuring that no stone remains unturned in this particular matter. That is why he has written the U.S. government, and the public needs to hear this. This president has written the U.S. government to ask them to come and aid into this investigation. He didn't only stop there. He wrote the British government. These people have boots currently on the ground. He wrote the Moroccan government. They have boots on the ground. Some of the things you see happening, these people are investigating, and some of you do not know. They do not attend press conferences, but they are investigating every single thing that is happening. So for those of you who think, and I hear people say, oh, you know, you call people to come investigate. People are coming. People are here to investigate. And I even understand more people are coming to join this investigation, because this does not only have to do with Liberia, but it's transnational. So people are here to aid the government in bringing out the hard truth in all of this. And when the truth comes, I hope our people will stand strong.
Thank you, Patrick. We will go to my brother MZ, and then Blair, and then we'll go to Honorable Namwe on the subject. MZ, I know you guys, man, appreciate your patience, but there's a lot of us on the show tonight. I'm going to give it to you, my brother. Go ahead, MZ.
Brother, you know, the issue of my friend and brother Ambra, you know, it is pathetic. It is disgraceful for me to be hearing such a comment coming from the honorable senator. I have been one of the persons that have always said that Senator Edwin Melvin Snow does not deserve for him to be able to serve on the ECOWAS Parliament. And I've always said that a man who can be able to go to the ECOWAS Parliament to be able to discuss a country to his fellow colleagues. Not only that, a man who can be able to sit down in a public glare and be able to say that, yes, indeed, I want the government to be able to fail. I wonder whether Senator Amara Kone and Senator Edwin Melvin Snow does not know that they form part of the government. The issue of the honorable senator, the senator coming out with such a press statement, with such a writing, I mean, I wonder if they think that some of us eat our school fees. I wonder if they think that the intelligent, hard-working men within the Unity Party, I wonder that some of them think that we are like some of them. I'm sorry to say. It was not the same American who consistently was against JMB for coming to power. The thing that we are not aware of some of their deeds. It was not the same American who supported the CDC, and when the CDC came to power, the CDC lent him. You could not even see the president-elect face. At the end result, he have to get mad. He came back to the US. Then you come, you want to be writing like you know it all. This is just an advice to the honorable. I know that he is my good brother, he is my friend, he is my niece, but he need to be careful. You need to be careful, because in so doing, when you are serving as a senator, people have so much respect for you. How can you go sit down on a platform with someone who has already been convicted of a crime? Stanton, who have committed a crime in the US and who have been convicted. How can you go sit down on a platform with such a man? Then you want for us to be able to dignify the statement that coming from you? This is just an advice to him. I hope he will be able to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to come to you, Blair. You know, just a quick reminder for people that are just coming in. Honorable Namwe will come to you next. Senator Cullen, you know, this is one of the claims he's making. The president is being controlled. Everything he's doing is superficial. I don't know who's holding the president hostage. Additionally, he said because there are so many drug bosses in the country, that means that people are not happy because the president bossing so many drugs in the country. I don't know how that makes sense. Additionally, Senator Cullen said the leading drug officer recused bill. When somebody recuses themselves so the investigation can go on, that means it is cowardly position. Why does he recuse himself? Why didn't the president fire him? Even though I personally believe it's the right thing to do, but Senator Cullen believes otherwise, that recusals means cowardice, and I don't believe that. Blair, let's hear your position, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Dualu. You know, I listened to all of the panelists that have spoken. They spoke very well on this issue. One aspect I want to speak about is the deception of Amara Conen. Yesterday, when the former representative was relieved of his post by his colleagues, Amara Conen wrote a pamphlet on Facebook talking about Liberia democracy is at the highest risk, and in our history, not giving Yeka Kaluba due process. But today, Amara Conen will sit and write another novel, because this one is not a pamphlet, a novel, that instead of recusal, the person should have been dismissed. The person should have been fired. Instead of recusal, the person should have been dismissed dishonorably. Now, for what cause? Because for him, like he said, his sources are Spoon, the platform on which he's going to talk. That is by fact criminalized. Once the person have not served that term to erase that record, that person is still a criminal. You sit on the host criminal, but yet you say somebody whom have not been thoroughly investigated, have not been indicted, have not been adjudged guilty, the person should be discharged. A person will be discharged dishonorably, honorably. You know, so that's a deception there. So, what is the motive? Look at your close associate, Ernest Snow. Ernest Snow's statement is he wants for this government to fail, and so he aligns himself with Ernest Snow. Why does he align himself with Ernest Snow? The man feels frustrated, he feels disappointed, and he feels that his goal is to send a message in the spine of the Unity Party. Because the picture that Amara Conen have placed out there in the public is that in the dying minute of the second round, he came and resurrected the Unity Party. And the Unity Party, in return, disappointed him, leaving out of crucial decision-making process. So what he's trying to prove to his audience, that he's making to believe that he was the reason why the Unity Party won, he can be the same reason why Unity Party wouldn't win elections tomorrow. But I got this to say, like the minister said, the people who those voices are resonating with are the people who had already sank in the opposition. And they feel that people that Amara Conen coming around, it is a bunch to hang on to come back up on the surface. But what I can tell them is that that message shouldn't resonate with them within the opposition, most especially those of them who are in the capital city. The people who are in the urban area, in the interior, in the hinterland, in the bushes, those people, they see what is being done. Their focus is not merely the politics. Their focus is how they are being resurrected by this government within 3 years. Go to the people in the Southeast. Do you think they really have time? In the Southeast, do you think this is the conversation that is going on in the Southeast presently? No. In the Southeast, the conversation that is going on is developmental. You go to Nima County, they're talking about development. You go to Grand Paso, they are talking about the lights. You go to Sino, the Sino and the crew people that will be telling you that Solar Nangbe is bidding a mini dime for them. Okay, you go to the people in Harper, they will tell you Mo Ali is bringing water to Maryland County. You go to Grand Gide, Grand Gideans will tell you our roads are improved. Mo Ali is bringing water here. You go to Bon County, where Mo Ali just came from the 50. So the conversation that these people are having over there is completely different. So Amara Conen may think his voice is resonating, but what he's doing, he's destroying himself in the end.
Thank you, Blair. Let me ask you this. The senators can criticize the administration, something that I personally encourage. They can criticize. I don't even care about constructive criticism. But when their intention is to smear the country and blatantly lie, easily verifiable lies, what do they stand to achieve doing that, Honorable Nambe?
Nothing.
They will not achieve anything because the facts around the performance of this government is clear for everybody to see. Very, very clear for everybody to see. And I think this is the frustration and the disappointment. And it makes it a very, very hard sell for anybody that try to oppose. And I'll say this for several reasons. When this government started, there was a whole lineup of discussion, negativity that this government is not performing, they will not do anything, they're not doing anything. That narrative changed 100%. So there's certain things they were saying in the past, they can no longer say. This drug thing started, and they saw it as a window of opportunity to demonize the government, to whatever. And they've been very, very consistent. And for some of us, we think this is our period of vindication, where we preached and we always said that people needed to allow law enforcement to do their work so that they get to the bottom of this. And here we are today. There is the pay up, the dividend is there, it's deepening, decisions have been made left and right, and no matter who you are, once the evidence is adduced about your involvement, you are called to book. This is what is pinning them. Because they've campaigned over and over that, in fact, nothing was going to come out of it. And trust me, every week, there will be something else that we'll have to say about this. But for me, what is very important for me is how focused the government is, especially with the president, how resolved the president is to ensure that we get to the bottom of this. There's one goal: dismantle the cartel. There has been so much consistency with the two individuals in terms of their hate for the government, their prayer for the government to fail. But it's not working for them. It's not working for them. So at the end of the day, you have 30 men, 30 men and women in our house. Out of the 30, it is just these two who have been very, very consistent. Every day, probably for the last 1-2 months, you'll have something else to say. You got to ask yourself the reason why. It is increasingly becoming very difficult for them to try to convince anybody that this government is not succeeding in getting to the bottom of this drug case. So they are just in the process, they're just throwing mud everywhere and hoping that it will stick somewhere. And of course, it's not going to hold on anything, you know? So for me, we focus on what we have to do and make sure that, you know, we can get to the bottom of this. I'm glad now that the process of actual court and actions is being set forth in terms of jury selection, as was mentioned earlier. We're just hoping that with the experiences from the last 12 corruption case, that lessons have been learned from there, the kind of people that will be selected, you know, will have the quality to understand what the issues are being. And those that will be there also will ensure that their actions has to be in the greater interest of the bigger population. This will be my comments on this one.
Thank you so much, Honorable Nambe. I want to say this, and like I said yesterday, an open invitation to Senator Cullen to come on the platform. If he believes anything that was said here tonight, it is not true, and he has a counterpoint, I sent him the link. Anytime he wants to come on, an open invitation, even to Senator McGill, anytime they want to come on the platform, it is open to them. Senator Cullen, the platform is open to you if you believe, because I know I hear from the talking point, I'm already getting text messages Anytime you want, come on, so we can talk about Liberia. Before we go to the phone lines tonight, I want to just open the platform for another 1 or 2 minutes to anybody who got any other comment surrounding anything else. We already covered the local county border issue. There's nothing really going on over there. It was just a little minor dispute between two individuals that want to get dry space because the river overflow is banks. That's what happened. But anybody else consider mine a minute or two regarding anything else that was not covered before we go to the phone lines, and then we'll go around the horn.
Yeah, Dwalin, just something quickly came to my, it's been on my mind since today, that there was this post by the deputy commander of the prison service about some issue, and this is the thing that I say for a long time, something is wrong with the ethical system of our country. First and foremost, it beats my imagination that anybody in the security sector will do what he did. Because, and this is why I love the armed forces of Liberia. Probably, maybe because of the time that it was disbanded, and then in 2006, they started a whole brand new army. So the training and the doctrine and the discipline, because you cannot be in the security sector, regardless of what happened, that you're under investigation, then you come on to Facebook or come in the public media and try to narrate everything that you think you know. A security officer doesn't do that. For any reason you believe that you are wrongly picked up, wrongly incarcerated, or wrongly being investigated, you go to your chain of command. You have your superior officers. All you've been in the security sector, you know that's how it works. To the extent that the Ministry of Justice had to counter him by saying that he's giving false information or he's not giving the full information to the public. You understand? But then you say you are a trained and dedicated security officer. You are not. And these are the ethics that we breach just because of this social media crave. And honestly, no matter what the outcome is, I can tell you for a fact, for example, if you're in the AFL, you will not come back. The AFL, I know that I stayed with almost 3 years. You will not come back. If there's any well-organized security sector, you will not be brought back, because the first thing is that you stand down, you go through whatever the interdiction or whatever the investigation, because they are not even dismissed you. They only set you aside to be investigated on whatever what is. So if you had crimes, you go to your chain of command. But to come in the public, then you come in to appeal to the president to do what? And then you put politics into it, that the president should remove these cartel detainees for the drug cartel because there's a potential of something and send them to Morocco to be in prison and all that. So you who have been the commander and you wanting to go back to that post, you are telling the people that the place is even vulnerable, that people can come and there can be a mutiny or there can be a prison break and all that kind of thing. Just because you want to satisfy what? I think people should know that there's certain responsibility comes with the duty that you perform or the office you hold. There are certain ethics that you need to conform to. This social media and this Facebook thing that will put you in more trouble than you think. All right? So whatever the issue was, whatever happened within your office or in your place of, even in your administrative sector, you cannot be in an office, your administration comes and say there's an issue, even the day you say, okay, we're suspending time indefinite for investigation. Then you go on all the media network and go explain all the things you think you know, and you say, by waiting for that investigation will come. Then you've been explaining everything you know. What kind of professionalism is that? And and we're just thinking that is a crave. And you see, the Liberian people who will be clapping for you on our social media and say the men are toy own, yeah, the born are toy own. When they dismiss you from your job, they're not coming to give you a job. They're coming to feed your family. The 12 or more years you put in that profession to build up your career, they're not coming to put you somewhere else that you get a better job. But I think people will be clapping for you when you're breaking your ethics. I think people should understand that there are certain things you gotta be responsible about. And I was disappointed in the young man to have gone to that level You understand? And quite frankly, if there's any reasonable, you will not go back. They will not accept you because you have already broken the ethics of your profession and your duty. You should have kept quiet. And even if you know that you are wrongly being prosecuted or investigated, you have your chain of command that you will report to. If they even go and decide to dismiss you and they investigate you, they have to prosecute you. If they investigate you without prosecution or nothing, then you are no longer there. You can come and say, look, this is my side of the story. But while you're going through that process, to come out and do all that, and then Liberian people be clapping for you. They see people who against the drug fight clapping for you and say, yeah, the man talking because the man know people won't do certain things that the man talking. You will see if it will give you job when you lose your job. I don't know why we are so unethical. I can't understand that, and that thing really, it's so wrong. And everybody does it. You're working with a corporation, something you put it on Facebook. You're working with public service, something you put it on Facebook. You're working with a patron office, when you see something you put it on Facebook. And people think that is something that is normal. It is not normal. You can't be working in an institution and be doing that. It is wrong. And when they fire you now, the same people will be talking for one thing, you will get off for 2 days, but you will not get a job. You can't feed your family because you are being very unethical. I hope it just becomes a warning to all the other young people, anybody who's somewhere. You must be responsible and take your job seriously. It doesn't mean when somebody say you are under investigation, I mean you are guilty of anything. Anybody call your name, it doesn't mean you are guilty of anything. You can go there, you clear your name, or they have the burden to prove that you are guilty of something. If they can't prove it, you go back to work. That one, the law said backs you. But every little thing people see now, they say that whistleblower. Every little thing they put it out there in the public. How you want to run the government? How you want to run your institution? And for security person to do that, and then you call on the president to do what? To come to your rescue? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If I were the Minister of Justice, I can't pull him back. I can't reinstate him to that position because he has already compromised the position and his job and his ethics. You got problem with jailbreak. You talk to the prison superintendent. You talk to the assistant minister in charge of prison. You talk to the minister of justice in charge of the prison. You go straight or erase to the president through Facebook. Then as somebody who's serious for position. I can't understand what picking him. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, some people they have not learned discretion, especially when it comes to being a professional. So that's why some of the issues come about. I'm going to Harvey start making preparation to come on screen. Anybody got anything or minute or two to say anything regarding anything before we go to the phone lines?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, bro, Dara's just put it right. For me, I believe that guy does not even have the security training that he passing around on Facebook that he had. That man is not well trained. How can you be making suggestions that the president will be brave, so we should be able to take the image and be able to send it to Morocco? So you want anytime that they appear in court, and the Liberian law says that the accuser should be in court. So you want every time that we want for them to be able to appear in court, so we should be able to send for them from Morocco here? Is that what that brother is saying? Does he really understand the security that he said that he went, he had been in the security center for long periods of time? Is that the training that he gave him? Sometimes, right, what Brother Andrew said, it is true. Why we should always be putting on Facebook anytime that we are under suspension? You under suspension pending an investigation. Then when you wrote on Facebook for what? What are brother looking for? What you really want? You looking for popular sentiment or what? But I give it to you.
Thank you. Honorable Namwe, I know you came late. You did not cover the border issue a little bit. Harris, if you're in the back, make preparation. If you guys got nothing, I want to drive through the streets of Sunny Quilly one more time before we go to the phone. Honorable Namwe, any comment regarding anything else?
No, I think we're good. That border issue is just a distraction, just trying to post some honor in his thing. Sunny Quilly, my hometown, all that nonsense about AI, it's not AI. The superintendent, Sup 24, she has transformed that place. Those of us that grew up in Senikode, there's no doubt. It has a proper boulevard, with the greenery. She's blended that thing with a lot of lights, so people can't just stand the fact that development is happening. I think that's the thing. They can't just stand it. They can't just stand it. Because you didn't do it, that doesn't mean that no one else can do it.
No, people ain't imagine that bro can be fine like that. People ain't think, look, Dwalu, I feel like people can be giving that feedback. Like we got when you come on, Dwalu, just mute your own. Yeah, everybody put on.
People now don't be that Sam Jassy. What play grew up now?
You muted, right?
Yeah, everybody talking now. No feedback.
Where you grew up?
Yeah. So I can tell you this. My father moved to Senegal in 1971. So we moved there 72 from Feasible.
From where?
From Feasible in Lofa. All right.
Okay, so you grew up so Lofa.
So where you getting from now? You from Sano? Or you from?
So listen, Chief. Listen. No, not Samuel Jackson. I got receipts. My mother was a Fromoya, so I got every right to her. My father is from Bina, Senegal. Y'all go to hell, man.
Okay, y'all continue to talk. Is it still getting feedback?
Yeah, are you?
No, I think
getting feedback. You. Mute your own USC. Mute it. Mute your own. And you see?
So let's test this. So Dwalu, yeah, it is.
This feedback is coming from you, Dwalu.
Guilty as charged.
So I wanted to say something about Sadikole. And in fact, that city was well laid out. This is not new. It's renew, right? What she has, we got renewable energy, now we got renewable visions. So this is a renewable vision. Sadikole was well laid out. All of the capitals of our counties were well laid out with paved roads, greenery. They were laid out on a grid. They were designed by Freemasons. All of our capitals, Voinema, Sadikole, Zwedru, these places were laid out by people who understood, the designs of cities and streets. Now, I don't know why even our villages in Liberia were always laid out according to certain things, right? They were done typically in a circular motion, a circular grid, and there were places for everything. So the tradition of our architecture and our city planning has always been both the traditional and the imported systems have always been very well laid out. We lost something somewhere. And seeing Ko Miape Gono, actually her name should be Ko because she's from the same place I'm from, but she calls herself Ko without business, Madam Superintendent. But Ko Miape Gono, the way that she is proceeding, she's proceeding in a tradition where she is remembering and looking at the existing infrastructure and rebuilding it and modernizing it. Is that not like, we sit down, we look at it, we say, oh, it should be obvious. It wasn't obvious to so many people that came before her. We have to give this woman credit for what she's doing. We have to. Because, but the city of art, I like to look at the past. I like to study the past. And yes, the city was laid out, but we have forgotten that it was laid out. She has gone and decided to do the rightful thing, which is to sit on the old mat and plot a new modern mat based on the foundation that was laid. You have to build on the past. And that's what she's doing. And I'm so proud of her. Even the greenery down the center of the street. I don't know if Sam is even old enough to remember this. I don't know what year you went to school in Sadikole. Was it not like that before?
It was. Except that she's extended it a bit. Exactly. But coming from, say, around the police station, opposite the Senegal Central High School, it was a boulevard kind of thing. You had the two lanes, but you had that space in between the streets. And there were always those trees planted in the middle. But what she's done, she's expanded that space, and then she put some protection, around all of the greenery she put into place. But Senegal, was laid out. You know, they had serious pavement in that street.
Okay, let's drop two Sandy Quid quickly. We don't have enough time, so we can go to the phone line. I want us to drop two Sandy Quid a little bit before we go to the phone lines.
I have to ask you a question. Did y'all see the NTA bus? How many of y'all saw the NTA bus? Shout out to Edmund Floor and the whole team at NTA.
Of course, that road paved all through, so it's easy for NTA boss to be there.
Hey, Harris, let's take some phone calls. I don't know why I'm getting feedback. This is disturbing me now. But Councilor Man, you're right. Harris, let's take some phone calls from our people. Yes.
I don't want to chip in something.
Okay, go ahead.
So again, the 48 hours thing keeps trending on other platforms. That's why I keep on going back to excerpts from the president's press release, the executive mansion press release. So I want to go back to another excerpt. So it says here, the Minister of Justice has been instructed to submit a detailed report to the president within 48 hours. The other paragraph says, upon receipt of the investigation report, the president will carefully review its findings and determine the appropriate course of action in the best interest of justice, accountability, and the people of Liberia. Me, I know English, but how is it difficult for people to read, comprehend? How? Even journalists.
You did SRA in school?
Difficult.
Did they when you ask you did SRA?
I can't read you.
You did reading comprehension. Some people do some. Some people do reading comprehension.
For the 8 hour now puzzle. For the 8 hour now puzzle.
That's the politics. That's the politics. And
that is the problem.
Roger said 48 hours. The president solved that matter within the 48 hours, and I mean, will determine his 2029 bid for the government.
Reading and comprehending what people have read is the biggest problem, especially on social media. This morning, I put a picture of Stanton visiting George Weah and then visiting Joe Walker. Then I said, well, we're connecting the dots. That the big problem I took today.
Harris, let's take some phone calls from our people. Let's see what's happening across the country.
Some journalists before they come to issue. Some journalists now.
The journalists, everybody's in the country. Okay. They mean it, but the power. I'm going to get break. There was somebody in my hands small. Harry, that is the call, I'm beginning. Yeah, them you guys.
Okay, so we go to the lines and take your calls tonight. 0778-665-699. 0778-665-699. 080-561-644. 080-561-644. 0778-669-622. This person is right here. Good evening. Let's hear you. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Thank you for the final question. No, what I'm not putting in there, maybe there is to. And then so much testing the way you say within the how you feel. The laugh. You build up in your person, but then no one anyway. And so actually, you need to look one man there. You see, when you come to the minister, and every day, you put it out there. Child is being a hand make a kid to them. And to up for yes. Every day it's one Lord. So what is that actually good with it? I say yes, because those the opposition he knows nothing, and while I know it. And the commander, just pass there, what is it? If you phone it, if you're not phoning it, you're on.
Okay.
So everything I know, I won't prove. I'm not calling you a teenage the junior, your funeral on the bush street. Yes, keep the apple there. Every day I'm looking at I the cheap the apple, I'm not going to go on the walk. I'm not going to say, oh, I hate it, girl. And this is when you grip with them on the back of sweat. So when the girl working with the police, you want to be on the CID, where is United, but Zumaya.
Okay.
All the information that I'm going to maybe I'm going to group from the security apart again. When you want the security, we have a meeting, we have a funeral.
Okay. Oh, my word, you slipped off. 077-866-5699. 077-629-3620. 077-629-3620. This president, good evening.
Yes, we have a good evening to all the panelists.
Let's hear you.
And then how about let me appreciate the panelists for our curiosity, innovation, and for white of putting our country. Today, we come and see the name of the construction thing. Come and see for yourself what the government is doing. Today, we are seeing 24 hours there, we are seeing the impact of this government. So we did not see yesterday, and today we are seeing those things. But those things in the don't give up. Another song white of putting because you can't work in the government, for example, on the energy school. They are working the government. What else in the government thing? Are you talking about the government?
Okay.
And we are paying our taxes and our taxes to pay government benefit for it. You go to FY somebody, you're going to pay Liberia for anything you talk benefit and the government. You don't know if the government or you can government pay. Please, do for the Friday, yes, you know well. We are seeing the people on the today.
Thank you, Emmett. Thank you. We'll leave you this person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's hear you.
My name is Noah Zhao Gibson, and I'm tonight from District Number 2, Montserrat County, Chicotah, Chicken Freeway. Quickly, I just want to say to Dwalo, your concern of hearing the repeat of ClassReloaded on ELBC. Though I don't like for ELBC, but they need to be studied carefully because there are a lot of programs there, and I have similar program there like the same level of time. So that platform is heavily loaded. I don't know how they're going to figure it out, but that's what you see. But you see, quickly, this American thing, you said it all right. One thing that is hiding American that people are yet to understand is this. American wants to have that dominance that he had in the Madam Sally government, where everything he said at the time it becomes law and gospel. To the extent that even this American was instrumental of reducing this current president budget to 50% when he was vice president. That was the extent for which he disrespected this president. So for him to think that he would have such dominance and he's not having it is hurting him a lot. Let me tell you, the reason why he came to support President Buhari, not that because he really wanted to support President Buhari. American cares for what he can get. He only cares about himself. The CDC promised that had he supported them in 2017, it would have been him to succeed former President Weah as a senatorial candidate in Montserrat. That did not materialize. He gave the ticket to Sarkozy. They ate his money. Another time they promised him that they would have given it to him in 2020. It didn't materialize. They gave the ticket to Thomas Fast. So that was where he parted company with us. So he came thinking that he could have paid debt. But mind you, in conclusion, that is where I get angry with some of our partisans who will always want to think that our victory in 2023 was based or built around Amara Konen or Waterspoon. You know how many work we would have done, even if Patrick Woman on our show. You know what they did? Even I'm talking to you here. I had a talk show on Storm FM called The Road to 2023. I
Okay.
Now, and you fighting back, and we are also there repairing your lies. Use the way you're fighting now, for instance, what we're doing. Let's see whether you will make or not be real. Like I dare you. Bye-bye, man.
Thank you. We'll leave you this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Let's hear you.
Family is, there's a parkour for the United Party election period.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank God to my family in the studio. They come speaking, they come getting more strength. And thank God to the president. We are not in the football water, but now we work for the United Party election period. We always tell people here what they say that God gave us Lilo, that ruler. And what I former president wants to talk about John, he told me to make us visit go there, the former Switzerland from Canada, they do work. Now they were not working. If they continue to that Jamaica visa, to yes, sovereign, they come make a party draw. I'm not going to one of the rules the president has no. Well, no, I just said, every stone to the root of about no and damage to it. That's why we do it. Competent and president has been allowed. We put in the sheet.
Okay.
I can't even feel it. Come on, and then we must say, I don't control somebody come and target president. Target Diego. Yeah, opposition don't control, they call him Musa Beredene. I say, come and go back to it. I don't say, if Canada is not that, then I play for where. They don't want to pre-finish. There's very whatever inside of coming water or everything more than against me. Driving against me, Patrick. Even if you want your phone and your phone, internet, your phone, and get information, they will let out before. They will make money, they don't be going back country. They will want to let out before. Someone said, that's why they want you out. Everything on top of school will be open, or make them pay.
Okay.
The opposition weak. The one spoon now and that's anything. Not you hear now I get information to what else for. Yeah, I just shout what you're making.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave you 0778 665699. 080561644 0776 293 620. This person, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Mr. Dwazu, the government is doing her work. And we are sitting waiting for 2029 to re-elect KMP. So we are not looking at, we are not hearing another situation. The team, they don't know what to tell us. The youth, we the youth, we are never our mind. And social aid.
Thank you. 0778 665699. 080561644 0776293620. This person, you live the name you call from where?
Yeah, good night. It was 6.
Go ahead.
First time to call on the media. I enjoy the platform. I'm adding this every evening I listen to Tralu and the panelists. I just get a few points to stress. The statement made by the sister from Hong County, Taylor brought war in this country. I from Nimba and I resigned were conscripted to war. You see, Maliki Farm, people leave for Nimba to harvest, rest in our place. People let Lofa to harvest rice. And she was here, they were divorced. So she using the man who is in prison event sentence to solicit, favor. What she did to poor people in our community say, MPP, MPRG will go and do she lie. I leave it like that. And the issue of snow from Yigepa maintenance worker, the city that promoted him. I saw him on the convocation hall at the University of Liberia. He are not graduated from high school. These are people who live a leak. He could make a statement for government to fail so that they can assume state power. We are here, auditor got killed. He did not open a mosque. These people will monitor tension. Senators are supposed to serve the Senate. These are notable criminals. So if they can use their platform, man said, I will soon join the Unity Party, group there, and we will be combative.
Okay.
So I thank you for the platform. Let's keep on monitoring it.
Thank you, and keep listening as well. This person, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. The new remit common episodes are calling for something the presentation about tomorrow. Let me appreciate the panel on the show, especially my people to for a great job here doing for the nation. Even though he has a country, but every night to take a upon himself to be able to come on the platform, to be able to give us every view about the country, every situation that is going on in the country, to gather his mind and see on the platform. I think, let me salute you. You know, when you people are saying, we are not detailed to the people. CDC, they know us. CDC know Unity Party. Especially, we all on the field with them every time concerning about whatsoever. Let me appreciate the government, especially President Joseph Yimagwaba, concerning about the or drugs fighting in the country, especially to be able to suspend or the recruitment of the whatsoever which is the drug business that is going on. Let me appreciate the president. And again, let me appreciate Papi Honda for the great job they are doing concerning about the LTM, whatever they are doing. And let me appreciate Mo Ali for whatever he is doing around the country to be able to give us the water. Whatever we are hearing, every news that he's doing, especially the freedom when he went to the other area to do camp breaking. So let me appreciate everyone. Thank you very much for the program.
Thank you. We'll leave you 0778 665699. 080561644 0776 293 are the numbers. This person, good evening.
Good evening, my good friend, Brother Harris.
Good evening, let's hear you.
Thank you. So I have Small on the line from the Congo Town Bell, members of the United Party and the Electoral Bureau. Let me say thanks to Dwalo, my SG Moali, Patrona, and all others on set, and our mother, Marco. Let me say thanks to all of you. And that's how let us start. Like I said, all of media all like today. It's bad for me. People who went to school will sit and be part of institutions who don't want to see the betterment of the institutions. They want to claim to lead, that they want to see their livelihood lifted, that they are the same people that they themselves in the same leadership. And this is Amakone, Musa Belisi. I listen to OPS this afternoon. It's so laughable. It is because the God is building the ignorance of us, some of us. That's why these people are doing things around here. I tell you, the other institution, the president has said, we're running a government of inclusiveness. It's trying all efforts to make sure they fulfill the livelihood of the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and future bearers of the country. Because drugs like this try to follow our society over the years. He has said, I'll come for next generation, not the next election.
Okay.
Hey, everything like that. All right, I come and close quickly. I come in. Everything like that. He has empowered a former agency, 15 blind inspectors. They are not about the platform of 15 motorbikes and other international institutions. And he's fighting a competitive family from making sure that the livelihood of children for this tomorrow will be subdued because the government was the making that the African of us and 1 year said to get the drugs. And it's not the drugs. So check me with friends on we are. So check me, I'm not going to understand the mother talking about here. Like they're doing today. And because what kind of power? So let me say this. Nigeria will never be the same under this president. This government, this president that was brought to power, he would make sure that the government of the country is quite across. No one to tell you. Look at the women that keep on marrying the president. Thank you.
Okay.
For the way to do it. So let me say thank you to the panelists. The U.S. Parliamentary Bureau will stand for the debate, for the issues, not individuals.
Thank you. We'll leave you this person. Good evening. Let's hear you.
The panelists, Dualu and the others.
My name is Ugu B. Fofana, member of United Party Intellectual Bureau in Baji for JDs tonight. Thank all for having me a platform for me to air my view. Now, I will the dilemma of Chindu. Years back, we used to hear about using battery. You can't perform again. Then how can you do to fire in the care of opposition? So the President Boka is making a trial every day because my vote, even though the reason for all will get mad today for President Boka, but we are proud because the decision has been made. Our grandchildren will be asking our papa or grandpa, are you at that time the time why they talk about George Weah, you even vote for her, but our parents told our parents are voted for President Boka, to have political will to find the just and not an easy thing.
Okay.
Well, someone talking about President Boka, I tell you before President Boka became president, but someone to pay political will to do what President Boka is doing. But for me, I'm not here to say for no opposition. Let President Boka do the well while I put the word there. President now, your word is good for you. How do you approach them? Nobody, you don't need to tell your story. Somebody can tell your story and somebody can say how he is doing, performing well.
Okay.
But first, I no recommendation. That is what President Boka say. Now do the like I'm here for mission. My priority, not presidency.
Thank you. Good evening. Just pressing. Let's hear you. Good evening, you live.
Yeah, okay. This is Mr. Murphy Green. The policy was you're the party, though we are the one, we there, we voted not for job though. And what we wanted is what our government is doing. And what I appreciate Dwalu, for people like Dwalu to leave, Stanton, that's a wise guy. And I told them that their platform now is the platform of the West, government officials who do not have anything now that they have become propagandists. So, there's a proverb that says that when somebody hits you, they will tell you your eyeball is smelling. The only thing that you'll be living that will not smell is your eyes. And so that's a hard level. But one good thing I love about this old man is he promised and he's laying out. I listened to Mr. Kumi the other day, the high thing, what you think if you were the president that you're supposed to be doing, the government is not doing. And he did him.
I think Harris is frozen.
Harris is frozen.
Okay, so Harris are taking sufficient calls. Let's take some calls on my end. We'll take a few calls here, international numbers. Guys, the numbers is posted on the screen. Let's hear from you guys from the diaspora. Let me hold this thing up while you guys are calling into the show. Call into the show. We'll take a few calls on this end. Harris is taking sufficient calls tonight. And let's hear from you guys. Take some calls. The line is available. The number is on the screen. Let's hear from you. Let's take a few, 3-4 calls from this end regarding anything that was discussed here tonight. The current publication on Facebook. If you want to talk about the border issue that we did speak about, I begin today. We got Okophobia, hate of one own country, hate of one own culture, etc., etc. Any one of those things you can cover it. Color your live and even where you're calling from.
Dwalu, thank you. The name is Jerry James Dobley. I'm calling from Springfield, Mass. Dwalu, bro, getting young.
Tingwe.
Bro, Gomna, I can say, Gomna. I say, Fred Bobo Gomna. Can you imagine, my brother? Let me tell you, you see in left. Typical example, Liberia is a female that everybody was chasing to make progress in the country. End of the day, you couldn't buy slip-on for Liberia. You couldn't buy t-shirt for Liberia. You don't lapa. And then the day you feel somebody else's king, they're doing all the thing. So, you know, if you get an evil spirit, my brother, you can succeed in life. So, I don't care what they do, my brother, this government, and I'm playing ball government. You know what I mean for people to put their energy for all women for the country to be free.
That's it.
Even though people can call her now, or they call her being limited. People who knew that said I went to school during CDC regime, the people tend to back her in their own country. The problem, I want to continue to tell people, I think people getting the message now, if you ever voted CDC, you Christian, please go to the church and ask God for forgiveness. You Muslim, go to the mosque because you brought poverty on the country. You know what I mean? 6 years ago, that 6 years ago, even free. Somebody may have PhD degree, eating money, but these are people that were selling in government. What do you expect?
Thank you. Thank you.
Do what?
But what do we part do? I'm saying get back. I will talk to you again back. Never again. I'll maybe see you later, Jerry. See you, my brother. Thank you. I'll call it your live, Deborah Gibson, your live.
Hello to all our panelists tonight. I want to say kudos to you guys. Thank you so much. What I think Amna Kone is doing, he just think that he wants to gain popularity on this and the little thing. So for every little thing, he would just go about and writing and just saying a whole lot of things. He don't even think before he write. Today I read what he wrote. I was like, this is a whole senator writing. You're supposed to be part of this government. Then what are you saying? But I think he want to be vice president for Senator Snow. That's what I see. If Senator Snow want to be the president, and then he go as vice president 2029.
It will be all right.
Just lying to yourself.
It will be all right.
Citizens themselves. Today I was watching the one of the station in Liberia, and that boy I used to watch it. He was so vocal when it comes to Joseph Boakai, but today he was saying what he's supporting Joseph Boakai for because 1, 2, 3, 4 what the president has done. They did not see it in part because he did not wear beret, no more beret, no more second military. So if they sing all of these things, but they who the people supposed to depend on, they sit there and act like they are not seeing nothing.
Thank you.
Have we ever seen this kind of thing in the country before for all the drugs people in the country? Nothing. There have been no arrest, nothing. But look what is going on now. So they're all ashamed. They don't even know what to do. They think that when they're doing this kind of thing, it will help them. But trust me, it's not going to help them. It just bringing them down more and more. So that Senator Conan, I know he's a senator. Let him go find a place to sit down somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take another call here. Caller, your live and name, where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Eduardo. Thanks for everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I go different, but my different is something you find in the country, and sometimes you want to get information. You know, I saw something on social media about opening a dollar store in Liberia somewhere there. And my concern is that I hope the Ministry of Home or which ministry is responsible, they should be able to check them because some of those things they bring, the coloring they put on it is not good for our children. And sometimes you play with it and then they leave you a hand, they try to begin to eat or even older people. Because everyone like cheap things, but some of them are so bad for people. So they check whether the lead or the kind of coloring they put on it is good for everyone, because some of them you play with a toy, it will leave you a hand and to children eating until you bring some sickness. So that's what my concern.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a good awareness message. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Caller, you're live. Your name, where you calling from? We'll take this call and one more call.
Anthony M7 Virginia calling from Canada.
You're live.
Thank you. let me appreciate this government. Look, let me go straight to the point. The first thing I live in the Southeast for many decades of years, right? And then I know how the Southeast we were looking. Sometimes we spend 1, 2, 3 months in the month to go back to our home. And today, guys are moving freely in the Southeast and plus for the government. But you know what happens in school? Someone does good in president.
Absolutely.
We were having all in Liberia. Now we were very bad. We were very bad. Until we got over. Now, fly in the Southeast is a plus. So I can't make it. For the country.
Yeah.
So that appreciate
No, we appreciate your call. Thank you very much. And that's the kind of calls we want to hear. Call into the show, the positivities, because there are a bunch of people. We spoke about okophobia today that hate their culture, hate their traditions, hate everything Liberia, hate their own country because they believe in chaos, they are going to thrive and Liberia will suffer. So when we are countering the good news with their bad news, Liberia will be all right. So when you guys call in and holler what's happening, you live in the Southeast. Let's take this final caller here tonight. Caller, you're live and even where you're calling from. Hello, caller. Yeah, you're live.
Well, and thanks to your panelists. This is John Sabo. I'm calling from York, Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm a supporter of this government, but I'm kind of confused. So I know this platform is a pro-government.
No, please. This is not a pro-government platform. And when you say that, you don't understand it. This is the platform intended to promote the good image of Liberia. People think it's synonymous with government, not necessarily.
Okay, but let me just ask my question.
Go ahead.
The way I think about it. So we, in the whole drug case here, some of us who support this government want to see it positively, especially in the favor of the government. I come to this platform today and I see people throwing rocks at people on spoon talk. You know, like the Google thing and the convey and the calling names that they're not supposed to be calling. But as far as I'm concerned, since the start of this drug case, every name that have been arrested or suspended or fired was published on Spoon Talk first.
One second. What, did you read that in the thread, or was this some of the panelists putting more on Spoon? Was it in the thread?
Panelists right here, right now.
Okay.
Now, today's show.
So go ahead.
Calling and Google people and throwing names out there. But it is the same amount of names that came out. Hello?
You're live, sir.
Yes. It is the same name, even though all of the names are not right. But everybody that have been arrested was connected and the president out there. But you people are angry. So what are we supposed to do now? We want to know who brought this drug case here. But when they call in government officials, you people are bad. They're not supposed to be calling them. How did your platform help in the drug case? That's what I want to know. How did it help? How is it helping for this drug case?
My brother, thank you for the call.
To the other platform, they gave all names.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, our president act on me and make arrests. For the 48 hours, I understand.
Okay, but listen now, let's go, because you're making a lot of claims. Take your time. I'm not going to cut you off, so please don't rush it. There is no point, under any circumstance, the Spoon supply any names to the government that the government acted upon. The government acted upon the intelligence that was gathered by the government. Spoon was just being fed this in another way, so Spoon had no connection with what the government was doing. This is the message I want you to believe out there. And secondarily, we are not here to tell the government what to do. We are not here to supply names to the government. So when you say, what have you guys done? We have done a lot to make sure nobody's shooting anybody on the platform. If you're involved in the drug business, I for one would not shoot. I'm not seeing anybody on the platform who would shoot at anybody. Your response before I let you go.
I fully understand what you just said, but because you are kind of connected to the government, so you have inside source. For us who are there flying around supporting the government and watching all of you to see the positivity of the government, anything we see out there, we will start looking at it at the first time, and then when it happens, that our president act on it or it become reality, then we kind of believe, most of the things that they are saying.
Okay, thank you so much. The president acts on intelligence from responsible intelligence sources, not from some platform. Don't let anybody fool you. That's the message out there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, callers. You're loud. That's the final caller for the night. For parting statement for the night, guys. I'm going to come to you first, Blair. You know that you're sleeping. Let's see. Oh, actually, Mo should be number one. I mean, you're in Yoruba. You got to let. Let's go to Mo first.
A 114-year-old.
But yeah, go ahead. Okay, Blair, go ahead.
Go.
Yeah. How's the feedback? Yeah. You want to let me know when I get any feedback thinking here.
Okay, it's still coming. I think you got
to go ahead, small. Go.
Okay. So, like you said, right more. These people will come up with names because of certain leakages, but the government will react as after it shall have concluded the investigation with certain people before the president or the government can take action. Okay, so it's not that these people, they are not doing any investigative journalism like Cole said. These are people they are more within the system, within the structure, that passing names on to these guys. Okay, and it's premature. So while the government is in the process of investigating people, I just want for that brother to understand why the government is in the process of investigating people. There are moles that are passing those names on to them, and they will call those names. But in that process, the government cannot take action. It cannot arrest anybody or indict anybody when it has not concluded its investigation. So they want to make you to feel that they are putting pressure on the government, but no, the government is taking action when it is sure, because you cannot go to court, the Council of Mon said, when you do not have sufficient evidence and facts to be able to indict somebody and prosecute them. So government may be a much more slower, if that the word to use or not, but those that are bringing the information from you coming from within the same government cycle. So we are not here to praise same government. We are criticizing our own government officials here on the platform. So when they have even come here to the government and even left the platform because the questions were already hard. So when we're talking about ourselves, apparently it's different. When you come on the platform, it's completely different. So it was nice being here tonight, guys. Good night.
Yeah, Mohammed, your go to the chief.
Okay. So Dwalu, I wanted to start off with your last caller. Firstly, some of these people think we are in competition with other network or other platform. We are not in competition with them. They have a different modus operandi, and we have a different one. I mean, there are platforms that are intended to just propagate bad news about Liberia. This platform is intended to showcase the beauty of Liberia and the development that's taking place. That does not mean when things go wrong, we don't talk about them or we don't show the challenges of the country. Every one of you live in different countries. I am not sure, I'm sure you call from the US. I'm not sure if you are in the US, you can watch CNN. It's difficult for them to show you the poverty striking people in the US. Difficult for them to show you the bar rules or the ghettos. They don't. They promote their country. The reason why there is Hollywood is there to promote the image of the US. That's why when they make one show, you see, I want to go to heaven, which is the US. When it comes to government investigation, this is a responsible platform. Consistently, will interact with security people. These news that people bring out thinking that they are exposing things, they are not. They are jeopardizing the very investigation that you think they are exposing. Oh, the person bring up this name. They are not equipped as the security sector is. When people go and they want to confess, they want to speak, the next thing you hear on one platform, this person, that person, and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, people just say, you know what, we will sit, we will not talk. You are jeopardizing the investigation. Who told you that the security people do not know names? Who told you that they are not tracking people? Then you can say, oh, the other platform, they can release names. What are you doing? What we are doing is to help to keep the sanctity of this country. It's not to help to derail the very investigation that the security sector is going through. And let's be clear with this. They are not arresting anybody simply because one platform called the person name. They've been calling other people names from day one. They've not arrested them. Security people are not stupid people. They are not buffoons. That by the time you call somebody name, then they jump there to arrest. These people gather evidence, have facts. So when they call you in and charge you, it means that they've gathered sufficient evidence. There are people who they call for questioning. At the end of the day, they allow them to go because they've not gathered any sufficient evidence to warrant them charging the person or arresting them. So if you wish to listen to sensational stories of people wanting to grow their platforms and all of these kind of things, go to the other platforms. We are here to educate people about the facts that's happening in and out of this country. We're not here to please somebody's ego because you want to hear bad news, and so we come and give you bad news. The Class Reloaded is not intended to please people who want to listen to bad news. There are lots of other platforms. So why we take your, it's open for everybody. Why you are saying what's on your mind, we too will say what's on our mind. We are not going to interfere with security people. Who told you people like us in privileged position do not have this information before the people who can release them? Who told you we can't get those information? Who told you we can't talk to the security people? But we have to give the people the chance to do their work. And so coming to say what you not do and all this kind of thing, it doesn't help. We will not do it. We'll say the facts here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just to say it's good to be back again, and I think we are heading somewhere on all of this. I would just urge people to remain very patient, allow law enforcement to get to the bottom of it, because what is most important to this is the evidence that will be adduced. That's why we'll go to the court. Everything that is being done, like the police director said, from this other newspaper, from this other platform, none of that is admissible in courts. It's only what the government is doing, the charges they would lay against those people that they have reasons to charge will go to a judge. So let's pay attention to them. Let's keep doing what we're doing. I can understand the frustration, but that is the way the process is. You have to give people time and give them the chance. This thing takes layers and layers and layers of unpacking because it took a very long time. They mentioned that these things started way back in 2018, 2019. So it takes time. You can't just unpack them in a few weeks' time. It takes some time to connect all of the dots. Let me use that phrase. So good night, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night.
Thank you, Councilor Mon.
So Dualu, listening to the callers, it brings me back to what I said earlier when I was starting my intro. That the sad thing is that people believe that there's nothing good that can come out of Liberia. And so all people thrive on is negativity. Let me just say something to the people who listen. In the proliferation of the media landscape, right now, in the name of freedom of speech, you got people who sit down and choose what they want to listen to and what they want to follow. There are Liberians who pay their hard-earned money to work for because they were listening to Prophet Key because he was causing Marcos. That's what they wanted. That's what they believe was one of their good stories. The Liberians who were listening to lies and gossips, who doing what, who's sleeping with who, that is what concerns them. For a long time, when I started, even as a refugee, started to do broadcasting, I believed in a sense, long time, that there is a lot of good in my country. So my trend of broadcasting was to develop the good potential in all of us because we have good things in us. And that's why I name it the pure power, that the power that in us to do good is greater than that can do wrong. So when people come and put up all sorts of facade, and the people who run their lives on gossip, sadly, that people who have no balanced, they have no balance in what to think and what to do. So, and you listen to somebody, for example, somebody like Rodney sits on the radio and say, or on the Spoon Network and says, I'm speaking to my security contacts. I'm speaking to my security contacts. So which means that people who are in the security, who are involved, that he's speaking to. Then he gave me information. Or maybe tomorrow we want to arrest John Brown, or we want to pick up John Brown. Then he come and say, you will see tomorrow, the after tomorrow, they'll pick up John Brown. Then when they go pick up John Brown, then you can say, oh, but that man say before the government, go and do it. Then you say, yeah, that's what should happen. It beats my imagination that you sit in a developed country for many, many years and you're not able to decipher for yourself, what is pure propaganda, what is true and what is not true. And of course, like Mo Ali said, in criminal prosecution, somebody could call my name. The security could pick me up as a person of interest. They could bring me before there. They could hold me for 2-3 days. They could question me. They could investigate me. They could realize that no, the man has nothing to do with it and let him go. It doesn't mean that people. So when when Spoon Network decided to call the name of the foreign minister, did that show that she's part of a drug cartel? When the man demonstrated that he doesn't even know what a diplomatic pouch is, what diplomacy calls for, and how it works, and says foreign minister signed for a diplomatic pouch that traveled to another country. He ain't called no country. People just say things. They just say things wildly. And because Liberians are so, we're so gullible, you can't believe it. Whatever they say, that's it. And I said, I've said that, sometimes I said in this Philadelphia, and I just sit and listen to people when you go to the park, you go on the football field, and people arguing, oh, I heard it on Spoon, and Spoon people talking, and people, that's just what they say over and over again. Somebody took one old video just now, put it on Facebook. Somebody there shouting, the Guinea people shooting, going in the air to the border, and blah, 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 blah. Well, long time that border thing have been passed and gone with, just to create some negative scenario that something is wrong with their country. So, look, I don't support a politician. I don't come here because I support Joseph Boakai. I come here because I believe that Joseph Boakai is doing something for the country that I support, which is great. Rebuilding a country that I love so dearly. And whilst he's building that effort, I believe as a Liberian, I have a duty to help him build it. Is he going to build Liberia totally? Absolutely not. Is he going to take all the drug business out of Liberia? Absolutely not. Is he going to take all the corruption out of Liberia? No way. It can't happen. But what I'm happy about, for once in my country, I'm seeing that people are even being questioned, arrested for drugs, for corruption. People are being suspended from office to go answer questions for investigation. I have seen that happen in my country. And what it tells me is that somebody has taken the bold step to begin to stamp out impunity. Because that is why Liberia is so indisciplined. That indiscipline can make people steal. That impunity can make people be corrupt. That impunity can make people rape people's children because they know when I'm doing, nothing will happen to me. That impunity can make people to bring drugs into the country because they say, I know I will buy all the police people and nothing will happen to me. So even when it comes to all the police people in Joseph Boakai, we have to remove all of them as they come one by one. And the drug point to you, he will move you. Unless the drug issue, the investigation doesn't point to you, he will leave you there. He will have confidence. Look, that's how business people develop, Tualu. You have confidence. I gave you all the respect and all the confidence and all the trust until you give me a reason not to trust you anymore. And that is how a president leads. Because the president can read everybody's heart and not written in the heart and not written on the forehead that Mo Ali is a bad man. But Mo Ali is there. But until Mo Ali gives the president a reason not to trust him without office again and remove him, the president still trusts him. So Liberians, that is what we're supposed to do for our country. Because we need the people. I'm not a security man. I know how to do investigation. I need the people like the Gregory Comans who are there. Until Gregory Coleman gives me a reason not to believe and trust him anymore, I must trust him. That's how we build a country. All right? So when people come and say, oh, you're not calling me, why should I call somebody's name? I'm not an investigator. The only name I will call is the name that the people will stand to the Ministry of Information and call a name. When they say we have enough evidence on this person and we are taking this person to court, I will join them to say that person has done wrong to our country and that they must prosecute that person. All right? So, Dwalu, it's not going to be an easy task. But for me, I always said it's simple. There are many, many, many good people in Liberia or good Liberians outside Liberia than there are bad people. There are many people who want to be proud of their country. There are people who want to see their country fall. But for some people, all they believe is that they must see the worst of Liberia. But we will not sit. So you can like it, you can say that government support. You can like it, we say anything you want to say. The good thing I know, I can tell you true today, nobody forces you to listen here. Because if you don't like the good of our country and the good thing that happening, if you listen here, you will get heart attack. I'm telling you the truth. You will die from pressure. If you listen to the program, you will die from pressure. You'll be writing all sorts of things we'll be seeing, will ignore you. And that you will be paining because it will not change what we say. And I can just urge all the security people in this country that today we focus on this drug thing. Do what you do best. Do it for the country. Do it for our generation, for our children to come. You will not finish it, but do your best and make Liberia proud so that when Liberia stands out there to the world, stand within the United Nations, people can say, yes, these people have serious challenges, but they're fighting it. And we like to support them to fight it. Thank you, Dwalu, and thanks to the rest of you guys. Mo, thank you all. And Marco, I wish you all the best, and I hope that you get well very soon. I'm not happy. I'm scared for you, but you've been trying to maintain it. But I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Brother Abraham, your take, your final statement.
Donald, let me say thank you for this brilliant show tonight. And this is what the Larenpo expect. For us to come here to be objective, to come here with good news as much as possible. When they are spreading lies and misleading information, let them continue spreading their misleading information on their platform. As you always said, that this platform is not a government platform. This platform is an independent and objective men and women that will be able to gather here to be able to share ideas. That is why we are noted for. We are not noted for spreading lies. So, daughter, I want to tell you, thank you for that brilliant statement. Let me say, here, for me, I trust the president that I vouched for 7 years. I trust that president's ability. So no one will come here to write on Facebook to make it look like when you write that will make our president to be jabbering. No. Our president have sophisticated men and women around him. One like Mama ability. That lady, she is hard working. Sometimes I can be telling her, I say, what time did you really have time for you to be able to rest? But look, all she can tell me, look, Abraham, I'm doing it for the country. That's the kind of leader and that's the kind of person that the president have entrusted to be Minister of State with our portfolio. The likes of Sarah Basleyanti, who have make sure, who know how to knock diplomats' door. Diplomatically, that woman know how to interact. The lady had been building her character, she had been building herself over the years. This is a lady who worked with the United Nations. You think that she is connected one or the other with the drugs? Think that you jabbering, that lies are coming from out of their mouth? That you think that our able men and women, and like I said, and I will continue to say, I trust this individual and I can put my neck on a chopping board for she, Sarah Basleyanti, and Mama ability. Yes, indeed, I can be able to do that because I trust them. Donald, this is a time that we need, like I said, every high-headed soul need high-headed medications. Sometimes it is better for us to be able to address some of the men then who call themselves senators. It is good that we address it. It is not nice that we insult that anyone will run out and insult to the able men and women in the Lawrence Senate. I would definitely go against you for that. But we should be able to deal with it accordingly. What the hell wrong with you that you will come to say that, brother, you don't want the president to be able to succeed. You don't want the government to succeed. Have you forgotten that the Liberian government have 3 branches, and the 3 branches work in collaboration with each other? Brother, let me say thank you and see you when I see you.
Dolly, you're on mute.
Yep, Echo, it's up to you. Thank you so much, Abraham. Thank you for.
Thanks, Abraham. Yeah, thanks for everyone that wished me a speedy recovery. I really appreciate it. I'm actually feeling much better today than I was on Saturday. And I'm tired of laying around sleeping still. That's why I do this show. Don't worry about me. I'll be just fine. So Dwalo, Did you receive the photo? I just wanted
Yes,
to.
I got the photos and I got the 2 quick videos. So let me know how you want
It's
to
the
see
same
this.
video. I just have one in case you're able to download. If you're not able to download, you can just share it from Facebook.
Okay.
So the first one is a link, and the other one is the actual video. So if you can download it, you can share it. But I wanted to talk about Sonic Food. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of Kwame Gono. This you should mute while this echo. I'm so proud of Madam Superintendent, and I want to say that personally, besides her doing all of this development stuff, she's done a lot to help us heal. My late father was murdered by government sponsored forces. My brilliant, intelligent father unjustly murdered along with DK Wanslier. Apparently, according to former President Doe, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know what that even means. There's no way to bring him back. But they killed him, and no government, no administration of our government. The government, I hold the government of Liberia responsible for his death, because when my father was killed, Doe was supposedly a legitimate president, and he murdered people, and the government of Liberia had never ever reconciled or acknowledged the murders of innocent people, of leaders, of educated people, who did not deserve to be killed, who were not part of any faction or any kind of political, just because they were educated, so therefore they should be, or not only because they were educated, but because they were from Nimba, so they should die. And no government, no administration until President Boykai took office has ever acknowledged what was done. And before the president started to acknowledge, what happened to the people on the beach, and before the president even acknowledged what happened to President Doe, Superintendent Gono did a memorial in Sanekule for my father and DK Wanslier, who were unjustly killed. And I would just want to tell you, Cole, if you're listening, you do not have any idea what that meant to me and many members of our families. I owe you, my profound gratitude, because there's something healing about having government, because we all know it was unjust, but the government is a continuation. But the government to acknowledge that this was wrong is just profound. So this is a very brilliant, very thoughtful woman. She's not just there. She has her ears to the ground, and she understands history. She understands context. So I want to give her kudos. I want to do that in a public manner. But I also wanted to share sonically the history and what it looked like before, because I'm very much aware that this very young and brilliant woman has a concept of what she's building upon. She's not operating in a vacuum. She's standing on shoulders in everything that she's doing, and that's why she's succeeding. But before you show the video, I just want to show a couple of pictures. You can show the still pictures. So I had asked Sam Nangwe about the Sanekule Boulevard. So this is a picture of the boulevard in Sanekule. You see, it was only one lane on each side, and the green area was really wide. So I guess they had to narrow the green area to make it 4 lanes, right? But this is what it looked like before. And this picture is from 1959. Before, I'm sorry, 1969 or 59. I'm sorry, I'm so on this malaria medicine and stuff. But anyway, this was from the OAU conference. Sorry, 1959. So I just wanted to show that. And then this is, I don't know why I mixed up 59, 69, but this is another one. They're here running to greet Sekou Touré, Ahmad Sekou Touré, Kwame Nkrumah, and President Tubman. But I just wanted to zoom in and show the picture of the green space, so that instead of having, rocks, it was wider again, because it was one lane on each side. There were not many cars in Liberia in 1959. So they have one lane and a green area and trees. So by the time Sam Nangwe got to Sanekule, those trees were humongous. This is what they looked like in 1959. They were still small, relatively small to what they looked like, when Sam and them were going to school. Sam old, but you're not that old. So, yeah.
Be informed, be ethical, serve your country. A nation is not built by spectators, it is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility, that liberty demands character, and that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Be a peacemaker like Suakoko, who understood that strength is not always the sword. Sometimes it is the wisdom to prevent the sword from being drawn. Be stoic like Arthur Barclay, steady when the storms came, calm when the nation needed clarity. Be wise like King Momulu, who governed with patience and judgment, knowing wisdom is the compass of a people. Keep your word like King Bosway, because a country cannot stand if the word of its people means nothing. Preserve the land for Africa like King Kita, who understood our land and not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is defended, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Fighting justice like Joseph Jenkins Roberts, who stood against the slave trade and defended the dignity of Africans in a hostile world. Oh, be like William Tamba, who refused to stand silent while human beings were bought and sold. Freedom survives because someone chooses to resist. Be innovative like Daniel Bachawana, a son of recaptured Africa.
Dolly, you're on mute.
Let's say it's up to you. That's the end of the video. And that's beautiful
So
Sonic
I
Color.
just wanted to show scenes from Sonic Color 1959. Superintendent, what a Freudian slip. I called her Senator. Superintendent Godo. Superintendent Godo, thank you so much for your hard work in my county, and the capital of our county is just amazing. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Dwalo.
Yeah, you call it a Freudian slip, I call it a prophetic slip. But anyway, that's a whole nother situation. Look, guys, today I began the show, and you guys learned a new word today. We all did. Okophobia. Okay? When people hate themselves, they hate the culture, they hate the traditions, and they hate the very country that they come from. You can still have an opposing political view and not want Liberia to be destroyed. Not want Liberia to go to war. I'm reading the thread, and I'm not going to say the name here. People think this is a joking matter that when the Guineans crossed over into Liberia and there is a war between Liberia and Guinea, that somebody's going to benefit in that. The Guineans are going to be harmed. We are going to be harmed. Nobody's going to benefit from this. These disagreements can be solved around the table. I don't know what anybody stands to gain if Liberia does not do well. Let me say this to you. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much education, how much connection, whatever you do in Liberia. If Liberia as a body is not well, all your stuff that you've accumulated, it means nothing. Our civil war should be an example for you, knowing full well, anybody who had anything in Liberia, it did not matter. We have to protect Liberia. Now, don't get me wrong, because there is a tendency, what we do here is you find one thing in an entire paragraph, you found a word, and then you cling on to that word and say, oh, do I say, when I criticize the government, please criticize your government. I'm one person, don't even criticize constructively, but don't lie in your criticism. It's all I ask about. If you want to criticize and say whatever the government is doing, you don't want to be constructive, I'm not going to hold you to being constructive. Do not lie in your criticism. Like what you're seeing Senator Amara Conan doing, or for example, what you're seeing Senator Snow doing, and everybody else who believes that for them to do well, Liberia have to falter. This country has to grow. Again, the Justice Minister has reached out to everybody in the country. This is what he said. If you get any evidence to prove that XYZ person is connected to the drugs, please bring it forward. If you don't want to bring it forward, give it to the Americans, give it to the Europeans, give it to whomever you want. But at the end of the day, you cannot be laying blame and say, oh, this person has done it, this person has done it, when you cannot substantiate the very claims that you're making. And you believe, oh, Liberia is this, Liberia is that. Let me tell you something. The image of a country is entirely formulated by the citizens themselves. Everybody has to get involved. If somebody told you about America, if you've never been to America, you will believe it is heaven on earth. And there are portions of America that feel like heaven on earth. But the entire country will be sold to you in says fashion. What I want you guys to understand going forward, we all got to sell Liberia positively. Now, that doesn't mean bad things do not happen in Liberia. This should go without saying, but I have to say it for the sake of additional clarity, unnecessary clarity. Sell our country properly. Want Liberia to excel. If your political organization going to come to power someday, want your political organization to inherit Liberia in its proper form. Not a disjointed Liberia, chaotic Liberia, a Liberia with dump pie everywhere, Liberia with sewage flowing down the street. We need a quality Liberia that we just saw in San Equity, where the streets are beginning to improve. We want that central portion of San Equity to be replicated throughout the city or throughout every city and county capital across our country. We need more of this. This should call for celebration. So it doesn't matter who develops the location. Now, let me say this. Look, if we had a president before who did not do something, and another president comes in, he does it, and that angers you, there is a serious problem. Look, a lot of people have been complaining. Look at the contrast between the roads before to Grand Gila County and the road now. The one, you're looking at the screen, the one on the left, it was on the 6 years of the previous administration. The one on the right is what the road looks like today. Yes, it is true that it's not a paved road. We understand it. We all want roads to be paved in Liberia. But if anybody tells you that the president has not done anything, they're being disingenuous. They're not telling you the truth. This country has to develop, and I want to remind people continuously, this is not about President Boakai. President Boakai has lived a full life. A full life. This is about continuity. This is about posterity. This is about the people that come in after us. If we do not give this country to our children in a better position than we met it, we have failed. Our generation, we have failed. So everybody in the country, please, want better for Liberia. Do your criticism. Stop the lies. Don't be constructive in your criticism. I don't go for constructive criticism. The only thing we ask for, tell the truth in your criticism. If you can do that, by default, your criticism is going to be constructive. Because if you're not lying, if you're saying, listen, Dwalu stole money, and it's true that Dwalu stole money, don't sugarcoat it. Say Dwalu stole money. But if you don't know Dwalu stole money, in fact, a quick example, I'm not in government. In fact, I had a bunch of cases one time when, yeah, the other member ain't in government, you got the kind of money stealing and bail place here. No evidence. And I've never one day, my pa, my mom, nobody in my family that I know of ever worked in government. It took me and my wife over 10 years to build that facility, cashing in 401k just to build that. So if I were in government and they would say that government money I used. And the funny thing is, a lot of people I don't even know that would believe that. This is the danger I'm talking about in our society. We gotta want more for Liberia. We gotta love this place, irrespective of who's in power. And this lazy argument about, oh, Honor President, we are your critics. The criticism that was done on the president, we are false or true. This is one you guys cannot answer. Yeah, but we let no. If it's true, it is not a criticism. It's just a statement of fact. Were they smoking weed around? Were they washing cars with champagne? Was he leaving the country for a crazy time? Was he buka dancing? Was he making music in the studio? Was our country an international pariah? Were the officials being sanctioned? So when people say that thing, they come and say, oh, but we don't want to criticize for criticizing sick, then you're not doing the country right. You're not doing right by the country. All we ask is do right by the country. We don't come here not one single day. I'm not saying Carl do it or me do it, anybody. Not one day we have any protected, any government official in Liberia. If a government official does well, does bad, I would be the first person to come here and say, if you remember the labor minister, he came here, we talked to him, but doing something wrong, we didn't like it. Send it to us, we talk about it. Even the president, even when the border issue came around, we are criticizing the justice minister here. I only one thing I want here, Liberia must be positive about Liberia. Because in my heart, in my faith, Liberia can never be wrong. The reason why Liberia can never be wrong is because only wrong people bring wrong around Liberia. Liberia is always right. For me, Liberia is always right 100%. Liberia is never wrong. It is us that have made Liberia wrong. And the very people that can make Liberia wrong, they will move from there. Let Liberia get better. Once again, Mekawa, if you have nothing else to say, I want to say good night to the audience. Thank you so much. Feel better. Get some, what you call it, ginger tea or whatever you guys drink out there. But if it's malaria, that's a whole nother ball game. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, Liberia developing. This is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing J&B and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,